And what is going on, everybody? It is Chris Akin back once again with another edition of Chris Akin Presents. And, of course, my my co-host, as always, Mr. Eric Ferentinos. Eric, you look like you're gaining a little weight, buddy.
I put on a lot of weight on that cruise.
All that shrimp and shit you've been eating, right?
all the buffets really got to me, man.
Anyway, the real guest host tonight, Mr. Jon Drake from the Talking Into Infinity podcast, as well as Brother Believe Me, as well as the Nerf Herder Council, as well as whatever else. You know, you only do, what, about 40 things at once?
Only about 42 if you're counting.
Who does more shit, me or you?
Oh, it's got to be you.
You think?
Yeah. You have like 8 different shows. I mean, I guest on other podcasts, and I've got my 2, and I do the band, and but yeah, I'd say that you definitely, you got To Me, you've got the CMS, you've got this. I mean, you're doing constant guest spots on other people's shows, so I'll say you.
True. Although here, I'll give you some breaking news. You said I do To Me. I did do To Me up until today.
Wow.
But me and him have
breaking news.
Yeah. No more Talk To Me with Chris Akin.
Why?
But, Knotfest is changing up. You know, they want To Me to do a new metal thing, and I ain't part of that. They see the gray and they're like, "You ain't new. You're old." So.
Are you serious?
Well, I don't know why. Honestly, it's not fair of me to say why, and I got nothing bad to say about those guys. I made fucking $5,000 doing nothing. So, I really don't have any complaint at all about Knotfest, but they are going a different direction. And so are me and To Me, actually. We're going to start yet another show because I need more shows. We're going to replace Talk To Me on my end with, here's an old name coming back at you. We're bringing back the Pit Riff name on a new podcast.
Really?
Yeah. So that's gonna be we're gonna be putting that together here in the next week or so, and then we'll be doing that show off of the Knotfest books. So no more free money for me, man.
Well, but come on, that's exactly why you do all these things. Is all the money that it generates.
That's it. If I can't get paid, then I don't do it, man.
Right. See, that's the only difference. You are busier than me, but at least one of my side gigs makes me a lot of extra money. So
yeah.
that is the one difference. So.
Well, my side gig in Pennsylvania makes me a lot of money.
You can't really call owning a business a side gig.
I don't go there.
It doesn't matter if you go.
I haven't been in like a year.
You own a business and it makes you money. That is hardly a side gig.
That's side to me.
All right.
It's believe me, it feels like a side gig because I feel like comfortable with what I'm doing most of the time. And then the phone starts ringing with something from Pinball PA, and I'm like, why the fuck am I still involved with this shit?
God damn it. I haven't been there in over a year for a reason.
Yeah. Why can't you fucking guys handle it? You're there.
Nice.
I've said that a lot of times on the phone. Why can't you guys handle it? You're there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I stay busy with all my stupid things. And I have my real business, and I have this stuff, and I like doing this stuff. This is my job. I will say that. I don't really give a shit what the money situation is. Doing podcasts is my job. It's what I want to do. It's what I care about. It's what I think about constantly. And all the other stuff is kind of just, well, I need to make money, so here's a website that I'll do, or here's a special at Pinball PA that we'll put on this weekend to generate some extra coin. Or look, new T-shirts. New shiny things at Pinball PA. Buy one, please.
Sure.
Because I need money so I can podcast.
Well, dude, it's what you love the most. I mean,
it is.
I mean, I would be lying if I said that I was 100% focused on work all the time when I'm at my day job. It's like, no, I'm thinking about, I got to write set lists for the weekend's shows, and what am I going to talk about on Talking Into Infinity or Nerf Herder? Or like, what am I going to... what interviews can I get? Half the time it's me and you throwing emails back at, it'll be like 10 o'clock in the morning. You'll be like, did you hear that new fucking Seven Dust song? Yeah.
So instantly in my mind, it's like, well, there's no work at John's place getting done other than listening to this Seven Dust song like 8 times in a row.
Yep. Yep.
Too good, man. Well, dude, for people that don't know, because have you appeared on Chris Akin Presents? I do not think so. Have you?
I think maybe once. I mean, we've
Steph
done some.
did. I know Stephanie did a few times. I don't know that you did.
I did something with you. I don't know if it's exactly.
I don't think it was Chris
Presents.
Akin Presents. I think it was like Chris CMS Music or one of the other 15 titles that we've
Yeah.
that we've had for this show. But yeah, this is your virgin voyage. That's why I brought the whores with me behind me.
Popping the cherry and
That's right.
on CAP.
That's right. You can pop your cap, so to speak.
Exactly.
Nice. But for people that don't know, John and I are damn near brothers, I would say, at this point. I mean, we fucking, when we can, when we have time, we're always finding something to do, in the same room, as we did last Thursday.
Yep.
We went out, we saw our friend Dave Landau, and I can say our friend because I think he likes you more than me, especially after the way he dissed me on stage. But fun time, no?
Oh, it was a great time. It was awesome because we already know that he's hilarious.
Sure.
We obviously love his comedy, but it was a different format. They call it crowd control.
Yeah.
And they get comedians up there and instead of doing their standard rehearsed, their normal set, they ask the crowd questions and kind of they improv off of the responses that they get. And so they had I think the guy's name was Drew or something that he was up there with, I want to say.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I seem to remember him, and it was Landau and Drew just riffing on people, and it was the openers kind of did that. A couple of them had some rehearsed things, but yeah, Dave and Drew just went up there and they whatever the crowd would say, they just kind of went with it. It was it was awesome to see it different because we've seen, we do see repeat jokes here and there, and
and we just saw Landau.
Yeah, a few months ago.
When was that? That was what, December or November? It was when it was snowing. I know that.
Yeah, I think it was November, I want to say.
So what, 4 months ago or whatever, we had just seen him. Mm-hmm. And he was doing the material that became his new special, that of Prison 10.
Yeah.
So even during the week I had said to you something to the effect of, I don't even care if we see the same jokes. It's just a reason to go out.
Yeah.
That was kind of our excuse was, Landau has really become an excuse for us to just kind of go out, and, I get along, your wife is my best friend in the world. So, and then Kelly likes to hang out with you guys too. So it was just an excuse for us to go out.
Yeah.
But this time, we were so thinking we were going to be like, all right, we know every fucking joke.
Right.
And it was nice that we didn't know anything that was coming. That was definitely cool.
And I had told Steph that because I looked up the showtime during the day, and when it said crowd control, I was like, well, that's something weird. I wonder what that is. It's got. I told her, I was like, something about the crowd. So I'm wondering what they're going, if it's like crowd participation or something. So It looks like we might get something different, and we sure did.
We did, and it was fun, but I will admit this, and I don't know if you felt the same way too. Way before Landau came on, when they had the first of the 3 bad comics come on, and they said, we're just gonna interact with you guys. Did you not sit there and go, oh shit? I was like, no. There's a reason I sit way in the back where you can't kind of see me.
I don't mind because I've been stuck at the main table several times, like at the Improv, and I have slipped and said dumb shit when they talk to me and accidentally set myself up for a beating.
Right.
So for me, I'm like, whatever. I don't care. It's all, in the name of humor. So
yeah,
I was
don't know.
like, okay.
I've done it once or twice, and being the fat guy in the room, you do not want to be up front. Jesus Christ. Every fucking item on the menu becomes a joke. It's like a joke at you. It's like, okay, chicken fingers, what do you think? It's like
it's like the nutty professor in the comedy club.
Have a couple more nachos, fat boy. Well, I'm telling you a joke. It's like, oh my God.
I think my favorite response was that table next to us where the one guy was asking about, married couples in here or whatever. And the one guy raises his hand and it's like, okay, well, how did you propose? And he goes, she made me. And then he asks her like, well, why did you make him or whatever? She goes, well, it had been a year. And I'm going, that guy has got to be about 3 days away from eating the service end of a revolver because he married this chick and she's like, "You're gonna propose to me."
Yeah,
it's been a year. I'm like, "Ooh, a year is just so fucking long."
Yeah.
And he did it. Oh my God, I couldn't believe this guy. I'm like, if that had been Steph or anybody I was dating, we hit a year. Well, where's my ring? I'd be like,
it's in the next guy's pocket. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. See ya. You didn't get one from me.
No, dude. And you could see it in that guy. That guy was sitting there. He was doing kind of the lean back with his ass forward in the chair, frumped over, just a beaten wreck.
I was going to say defeated.
He was just beaten. He was and you know what? He wanted to tell something that didn't make him sound like such a fucking pussy, but he knew she was right there to slap him.
Yeah,
And she would have slapped him. And that was fun. That was fun seeing that guy take a beating. I'll tell you who the most fun was for me. The couple right in front of us that met on a fucking on a date rape fetish site.
It was some kink website, like an eHarmony, but for people who like weird fuck fetishes.
Yeah. It's eRam me or something.
Yeah.
It was something.
The best was like they said that it was the initial thing that they were going for when they're both on there was a rape. It was a rape fantasy.
Right.
And I forget how they phrased it, but he asked.
Well, first of all, he didn't want to admit it.
Yeah.
First, he was like, we met on a dating site. Well, what site? And they, just one of them sites. And then they started naming them. Was it Match? Was it eHarmony? Was it Bumble? What they started naming all these sites before he just said, "Oh no, it was a fetish site." Well, what kind of fetish? And it was like a fat guy and a less fat but still fat chick. So it was like, all right, that's got to be the fetish. It's got to be fat fetish. And it sure wasn't that. Jesus. No. It was tie her up with the telephone cord fetish.
Yeah. And what did he say? It was like, well, after the first time it kind of lost its luster. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Where do you go from rape? Like beating the shit out of this person?
Yeah.
Like
it's like
running them over
BTK,
with your car?
What else you got?
Right.
Just waiting for him to say, and then the next girl I dated, I strangled and left her in the basement hanging on a wall. I was like,
Right.
Jesus.
I know. Man, speaking of strangling, how badly did you want to get up and throttle that guy sitting by himself at the front right that just started talking
the paper
and would
plastic
not
guy.
Yes, the guy that would not shut the fuck up.
Oh, he was a
terrible.
fucking annoying dick. Just an annoying dick. He was the guy, and there's one of them in every crowd, but unfortunately for the Funny Stop where we saw this show, this fucking guy, the room wasn't full. So because the room wasn't full, they had to go with who was talking, and it was this fucking guy. But this guy, he was he an engineer or something from Detroit? And he made sure we all knew that he drove all the way in from Detroit. Yeah, like Dave didn't, who was standing on the stage as well.
Yeah.
Dick. But oh my God, he wouldn't shut the fuck up. I'm an engineer and I work in plastics, and then with the plastics, this and that. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And he wouldn't shut up, and the comedians didn't cut him off.
Yeah. And the worst thing was the way he was presenting it. You could tell he was trying to be the center of attention.
Oh.
It wasn't like, well, I drove in from Detroit. He was, I drove in from Detroit, and I do plastics, and I got to tell you, I've seen you before, Dave, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy's he's look at me guy. He's look at me guy at the comedy show.
Yeah, and we wanted to look at him leave.
Yeah, right.
He was just an annoying douche. Oh, he was an annoying douche. I'll tell you what was a highlight for me was that I got the biggest laugh of the crowd of the entire night, which I felt great about.
Yeah,
I felt great about somehow probably you. I think you leaned him into me, and because I was just content to shut up and not say anything, but somehow he was talking about marriages and he got into me with my 23-year debacle, and but then he was surprised that I'd been divorced for 10 years. And he's like, you haven't found anybody else? What did she do to you? And I just yelled out, cunt!
Yeah, she's like, cunt.
Whole room broke up on that one.
Yep.
I don't think they were ready for that word to just come flying out. Especially at a table with 3 women at it. They really didn't expect that.
I know. Yeah, no, that was a great time. Like I tried to create an awkward moment. I didn't figure it work, but Dave was like, "Oh, well, ask any questions you want." And I hollered out, "Are you happy with your website?"
Yeah, and he goes, "No."
Yeah,
just without even any hesitation at all. I was like, "Well, what the fuck? You can't give me half a plug, dude. Really?"
I had to do it. I was like, "This will be the only time I ever get one in on Akin." Only time ever.
Well, that one worked because he absolutely caught me off guard with that quick no. I was like, what the fuck? But in all seriousness, we can't thank Dave enough for going way up and beyond. I felt like a prize pig asking him for 6 tickets, man. That really felt uncomfortable to me to ask for that many tickets. And, I asked him, I said, I even said it to him when I asked him, I said, am I being a fucking pig if I ask for 6 tickets? And he's like, no, fine, cool, whatever, dude. Totally cool, as he always is. So,
yeah.
And he's always cool to hang out after and just, shoot the shit with my friends and, you obviously, who introduced me to him. And
Yep.
It was a good time. And it was a really good time considering the amount of pressure he's under right now with the new show and the whole Crowder stuff going on. Literally that day was the big Crowder ring video that got released of him just verbally beating up his pregnant wife.
Yep.
I was like, woo, that was a bit tough of a day for him to just come out and just be telling jokes and having fun, but
right.
Good time though, man.
Yeah. It's always a great time. Dude, he's just consistently so unbelievably funny.
Hell yeah.
And he's so good at what he does. Like his delivery is amazing, and it's like I always kind of, when I try and describe him to people, it's like I don't know if this really gets it across, but it's almost like he's got 2 punchlines. He'll say something
right.
funny and you're laughing, but then he follows it up with something just brutal. Mm-hmm. It's like a second punchline. It's hilarious the way he does this stuff. And
he's a master at silence.
Yes.
Which is a rare thing. You see too many comedians, the really good ones, the really good comedians that you'll see will know when to just be quiet and let the silence actually be the joke. Landau's really good at that. But like you said, he'll leave the silence for the joke to build, and just as it starts to wane, then he hits you again with another part. And then I raped her. It's like,
yeah.
It's like, whoa, dude.
Yeah, he's great. It's like that joke about the tricycle and the flowers or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Where he's like, yeah, it was my kid's birthday or whatever, and I got him a tricycle and some balloons. I mean, it was, I got him off of from the base of a telephone pole at the intersection up the street, but
right.
And as you're laughing, he's like, I mean, the bike's a little dented, but I mean, it works.
Yeah,
it's the worst.
It's so brutal, which is what is, he's definitely cringe humor at its worst, at its ugliest, but that's great. I mean, that's me and you would not like going to a show and going, and then he planted more daisies.
Yeah. Well, and it's also his choice of words too.
Yeah.
Like he uses very intelligent word choices. Like the one joke where he's like, "I'm sorry, doctor, I didn't realize that my wife was such a classless animal." Like he doesn't go with like the standard insults, which makes it really funny because it's actually you could tell there's like an intelligence to it, which you don't see a lot of, and the jokes don't go in these obvious directions that so many comedians do. You're like, okay, I could tell where this is going to go.
Right.
And then, he's not just dropping F-bombs every other word to, be edgy. It's intelligent humor.
Yeah. No, he doesn't really swear much now, does he? He's not a big swear guy at all, actually.
No.
Now that I'm thinking about it, not a ton, but, so yeah, fun time out. A rare time out for me and you that we did not get hammered.
Yeah.
That was really surprising for, between me, you, my friend Seth, Steph, Kelly, and his wife, and Seth's wife, Heather, we drank. How much was your bar tab? $50?
It was like
maybe?
$60.
Mine was like 40 total.
Yeah.
$100. That never happens with us.
No.
$100?
Well, and Steph was the most drunk of any of us.
Yeah, she drank a ton for her.
Yeah.
She was taking big pulls off of those fucking pitchers.
Yep. Well, and I mean that's all she drinks is light beer.
Yeah.
She doesn't drink booze. She doesn't go for like regular Budweiser or Coors.
Right.
No, it's Mick Ultra. And if they don't have that, let's go with the Miller Lite. And I think we had 4 pitchers on that
Yeah.
tab, and she was going through a good amount of it.
She drank more than I did. I could tell you for me, and this is the stunner for me. For me, total on the whole night, I had 3 Jack and Cokes and 2 cups of beer from your pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And I mean, for me, that's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
It never, we've one of the very few times in my life that I've actually had to be carried out of a place was that place.
Yeah.
What was that? A year and a half, 2 years ago or whatever, maybe even a little longer at this point, because I think that was pre-COVID.
It was the one right after COVID.
Right
It was
after
21
COVID started, yeah.
Yeah.
But
It
that was
21.
one time. Whew, that was weird. I was like sitting there. I was fine. I stood up. I was like, oh man, I'm really fucked up. I was like, it was one of the very few times I was ever like, oh, here's the keys. Here's that,
Yep.
somebody guide me to the passenger seat because I'm not driving.
Yeah, you hadn't partied a lot recently.
Right.
At that time, you hadn't partied very recently, and so you just decided that was one of those nights. So I sat down. I'm like, I'm gonna get a shot. You went, okay.
All
it
right.
wasn't even, hey Chris, would you like a shot? It was, I'm gonna get a shot. Okay.
All right. I'm in.
So, make that 2.
Yeah. And me and you have done that from time to time.
A few times.
Yeah, dude, the best party time I can remember with me and you was here at the Man Palace. That first party that I had, where literally it went off the fucking rails with shaving your ass, shaving my head, fucking
Putting the road, shaved you like the road warrior,
Road
Hawk,
Warrior
putting
Hawk.
the paint on your face.
yeah. Somebody went out and bought the face paint. And I'm running around my house at fucking 7:00, and people are coming in and out of the party. They're seeing me with a shaved head like Road Warrior Animal with the fucking face paint on, walking around with a full gallon jug of sangria, taking pulls off the jug of sangria like it was a beer. Literally, there's a big giant jug full of sangria, and I'm just like, drinking, pouring down my shirt and shit. I was wrecked.
That was the best part, was the people that walked in after the head shaving and the face paint, that just walked in and did that split second, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, and they immediately they knew everything had already gone to hell in a handbasket.
Well, the thing was, the party I think was supposed to start at like 5 because we were going to do CMS that night.
Yeah.
But it started at noon with me and you. And by 5:00, I was bombed. And too many people showed up. That was another problem, was my house is not that big.
Yep.
But for my house to be to hold this many people was absolutely ridiculous. There was like 100 people showed up at my house that maybe can comfortably fit 20. And it just turned into, remember the cases of beer that were surrounding the grill? And it was like, because I have a rule when I have these parties that everybody has to bring a 6-pack or a 2-liter, whatever they're drinking. And, and then everybody just kind of pools it, and then we have a party. Well, we tried all that, but when we tried all of that, next thing I knew, everybody was bringing cases of beer.
Cases, yeah.
So 75 people, we probably literally had 50 cases of beer here, plus whiskey, plus bourbon, plus tequila. It just went off the rails. And at one point, it was 2:30 in the morning. I needed to move a car. I ran over some big giant rocks in my driveway and tore the bottom end of my car completely out.
The front fender, yeah.
It just And I was like, it's fine. It's fine. Meanwhile, there's liquid just flowing all over the place. It was bad.
Oh, I remember that. I could not stop laughing. I mean, it was funny enough as it was, but then when you're all hammered and stuff, and you with your amazing skills behind the wheel on full display,
it was $3,000 worth of funny because it cost me $3,000 to fix it. But I didn't care. It was like, hey, it's part of the party. Yeah.
You just put that thing and drive and went right into that rock.
Well, we just heard it go. I was like, oh, and I what I remember most is I get out the car and I go, did I hit something? Like a fucking moron.
That was great. Yeah, then you jump in the car and there's no subtlety like, I'm going to try and back this out a little bit. No, once again, just smash the gas pedal in reverse and off comes the front.
Off comes
like,
the bumper.
Oh,
it's like, whoops.
Like, oh, this
Guess
is
I
not
tore
good.
this car to shit, but
That's so great.
all right. Well, we could tell these stories all night, but first we are going to do this. We do have a band coming on tonight, a band that I'm digging called Sevenstones, which I'm not going to lie, when I first got it, I really thought it was the band from like 20 years ago that was on Evanescence's album. I thought it was 12 Stones.
Yeah.
And it took me about a week because at first I was like, Evanescence, not my thing, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to pay attention to this shit, you know, and I really didn't listen to it for about a week. And then their publicist, Barbara, who's great. She absolutely rules. And she's like, did you listen to Seven Stones? And I was like, I remember them from the day. And she was like, what are you talking about from the day? They're a new band. And I was like, oh, all right, let me listen. So then I listened. I was like, these guys pretty much fucking rock. So
Yep.
let's do this. We're going to take a quick break, play, and then we'll come back. We'll play a little bit of Seven Stones, and then we will be back with Drew Elliott from the band Seven Stones. Right after this, it is Chris Akin Presents. Hey, everybody, it's Chris Akin from all the shows, and wanted to share with you one of my other passions other than music. That, of course, being coffee. Anybody that's listened to me knows that I love coffee. And I have found another great brand, ladies and gentlemen, that you guys need to check out. Simply named, no gimmicks to it at all. It's just Coffee Brand Coffee. It's fantastic coffee, and I am not kidding you. They have everything that you would possibly want. Their coffee is excellent. I like the Roaster's Choice, but they have the pumpkin spice and all that other stuff, all the flavored stuff that you might like. They've got K-Cups for you. They've got cold brews. They offer tea. They've got cocoa. They literally have everything that you would want. So if you're looking for a great coffee, if you don't want to just settle for the crap that they sell you at the grocery store, this is another fine alternative. Coffee Brand Coffee. Just go to www.bit.ly/CMScoffee. One more time, bit.ly/CMScoffee, and use the coupon code CMSPN to save a little bit of money, and you can get some of the best coffee that is available today. So one more time, it is Coffee Brand Coffee. We love it here at the Classic Metal Show, and you will too. So get some today, folks. Coffee Brand Coffee. That was Seven Stones right here on Chris Akin Presents, and checking in with us from Seven Stones to talk about the new release, Hurt Turns Into Hate. It is the main man himself. It is Drew Elliott. Drew, how are you, man?
Pretty good. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Good to talk to you, man. I'm sure you heard in the talk up, I'm a clueless fuck sometimes, and I literally had no idea. honestly, I'm not a fan of Evanescence necessarily. I mean, they're all right. And I just, a long time ago, I knew they did some song with some Stones band.
12 Stones.
12
I
Stones.
think it has something to do with 12 Stones. Man.
Yeah. And me being the goof that I am, I was like, all right, well, Evanescence, Plush toured with Evanescence. Plush is the same label as these guys. It must be the same band.
Okay, I understand where the correlation it definitely aligned the right way. Where the confusion was. That's not on you at all.
No, it is on me because it would just be a whole lot easier if I would just play the record and say, yeah, this isn't the same band at all. But but I guess I'm lazy.
I'm really glad you researched that, Chris, because if one of your questions tonight would have been, what was it like singing on that big hit "Bring Me to Life"? I'd be like,
exactly.
Oh God, he's talking about the wrong band.
So will you tour with Evanescence again, dude?
But hey, if that's a real question, yes, we would gladly tour with Evanescence.
Right on, man. Well, dude, as we said, you have this new release, Hurt Turns Into Hate. I get kind of a 90s vibe from it, but not so much that it's like just reaching into the 90s as a lot of bands are doing these days. It definitely feels modern and fresh and not dated, but you clearly, at least in my head, you guys seem like, or at least somebody in the band is very influenced by that era. Is that sort of close? Or
I think we all are in
okay.
different ways, but we're also most of us are big metalheads at the same time. So the stuff that we've played is not in the same genre per se, but we're definitely influenced by like the late 90s, early 2000s stuff, especially with the new stuff. Isaiah, our guitar player, is a huge Wes Borland, Limp Bizkit fan, and I think you can hear that in No Safe Bet and Flower Fall, and you can hear that bounce to it.
Right.
And it was something that we're not used to because we've gone through so many lineup changes, but he's added that element into it. And I remember him, like, those two songs were literally like written at practice.
Okay.
And I was like, oh shit. All right. Hell yeah. We could do this. Like, hell yeah, we could do this. And it turned out really well. So hopefully we can continue that direction and keeping it new, but still kind of, paying homage to the bands that we grew up and loved a lot.
Sure. No doubt. Now, dude, how old is the band and how did you guys end up getting together?
Shit. We started in 2016.
Okay.
And the original members, I was clearly one of them. I knew the drummer and the guitar player in high school, and we met Rich through the mutual friend of the drummer, who is still our bass player to this day. The rest of the guys kind of bounced, and it's just been kind of a revolving door of a few guys. But I think the lineup we have now of the established four we have now is what we want to continue with, and I think we got it. We got it unlocked now. Nice. It's just been, not everybody's down for this lifestyle, man. Nobody wants to work 40 to 60 hours a week and then have a side job where you don't get, I guess, like a paycheck at the end of the fucking day. You're kind of just you're risking it. You're putting it out. You're betting on yourself in a way. And it's no safe bet. There's a little pun for you with our there.
Right.
Kind of the heart of that song, by the way.
Right on. Nice.
So, like Chris was saying, you do have, this new record coming out. Well, it just came out, excuse me. Hurt Turns Into Hate. So it's 7 really kick-ass tunes. I really enjoyed it. As Chris said, it's, to me, I don't know about 90s, Chris, but to me, I heard kind of like, if you take like kind of those early 2000s new metal bands, but heavied it up a little bit and added some southern influence to it. That's kind of what I heard.
Right.
So, talk a little bit about the writing of the record and, kind of the progression of the band's sound over the years as you've gotten these new members in the lineup.
Well, thank you for saying that first and foremost there, because I can't hide that southern sound that I've got going. It doesn't change for me. But it just kind of, especially like the title track, that came from personal experiences and then watching one of my best friends go through some shit and being able to channel that, of knowing what he's been through, and the words just kind of came out, like I remember watching his face change from one phone call. He was just like really down, didn't want to be in that phone conversation and being very depressed, don't want to talk to anybody. And then I watched it go from being hurt to pissed the hell off. And I was like, fuck, I know that feeling.
Right.
It doesn't have to be, you know, a love relationship. It can be any relationship, any friendship, like family, anything. It just, that one moment can change it instant like that. And I think the whole album actually kind of entails like a lot of feelings in that. It's very personal and emotional, depending on which way you look at it. Of course, you can take it either way. But the writing was, it kind of just happened, you know. Like we waited 3 years to fully release all these songs, just because, of course, the pandemic fucked everybody up, us included.
Sure.
You know, we had a couple of 2 songs that came from that, and then, of course, we started traveling, and then that's when members started being like, "Look, we can't do this." So it's gone through this huge change, but it's still good. Our newest drummer that we have now, I think I'm excited to write with him. He's a metalcore drummer, and he is fucking phenomenal. And he does all of our songs justice. Yeah. And Isaiah, of course, adding in, he kind of, when it all started to change is when Isaiah joined after our original guitar player left, and we started moving forward, going along with him. And it's done a lot. And Rich is still there, slapping the bass, and my dumbass is still here, singing and screaming at you at the same time with my southern ass accent. But god damn, dude, it's been a long 3 years, let's put it that way. And we're happy to be out, and I'm happy to be here with you guys, and thank you so much for having me on. Sure.
Oh, absolutely, dude.
Yeah, man.
Well, dude, let's talk about the growth pattern, man. Obviously you guys did fairly well locally, I'm assuming, which is why Pavement came and gave you a look, but now you got to make the transition, which to me is, there's a whole lot of bands, including the guy sitting right next to me over here, that at one point were in the biggest band in his town. And it's one thing to be able to sell 1,000 tickets in your town. It's a whole nother thing to be able to sell 300 tickets in every other town. You know,
12.
Or 12 or 10 or 2. You know, I mean, there is, and especially today where there's just an oversaturation of bands. You know, it's insane. So what for you is different as far as the approach as a band as you transition away from being a local band to transitioning into trying to make it on the national scene?
Well, Pavement is definitely helping with that for sure. You know, they're getting our name like to you guys. Like if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be talking to you guys right now. But also finding the lineup that believes, truly ready to sacrifice anything, like, you know, like, because all of us work jobs, you know, this 40 to 60 hour jobs.
Sure.
We can go on tour for 3 weeks. We might not have a job, you know? So a lot of people are not comfortable with giving that up. And the guys that are in the band now, a lot of these guys have families, you know, this is a huge step, but they're taking a risk. And I think that's the difference.
Okay.
There's a lot of bands that will not ever leave their city because they're too scared to take a chance on themselves. And I think we've all kind of reached that point of F it, you know, like we want to make this happen now. And it doesn't happen overnight, man. This isn't the 60s or 70s where you can sign $1 million deal or any shit like that, you know? And a lot of guys don't understand that. A lot of people don't understand that. There's people even in town, they're like, oh man, you guys are doing great, man. You guys must be, no, hell no, man. It's not like that. So the transition, it's a journey, man. I think we're all enjoying it. You know, it's a struggle. No doubt. There's no doubt about it. It's a fucking struggle, but we're here for it, man. You know, we're here for the climb. You know, just being here with you guys is a huge step too. I mean, you know, getting interviews, pushing it out, you know, being able to pick up tours with Texas Hippie Coalition is fucking massive. You know, how many other people, like how many other bands in this town, you know, that had success can actually say they've gone on tour with a nationally known band, and done the shit that we've done. So like, I'm very grateful. I'm really happy where we're at, but fuck, I want more, you know?
Hell yeah. Well, how do you guys, and I'll tell you the biggest, and this is, you know, this is from me doing this for 20 whatever years. I've seen so many bands that when they're a local band, when they're a local, you know, their favorite local band in their town, they'll take every risk in the book because they know their friends, their friends, which that's basically your audience. The friends won't let them down. You can be a band that does all death metal and write a ballad if you want to, because those friends will stand by it and they'll at least give it a chance. You do the same thing on the national level and you're just shit. You're garbage. You're done. You sold out. You're over.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, when you get to the national stage, you get too many voices trying to tell you what to do, and it almost pulls you away from what made you successful in the first place.
Exactly.
So how do you guys balance what's being fed to you from outside sources now that there's a lot more of them pushing at you?
Well, we haven't stuck to one thing.
Okay.
The whole time. I think that's what's helped us out a lot. Me being who I am, like I started writing songs on like just guitar on acoustic by myself. So then, you know, I brought it to, in the early years, we just kind of composed them into being a full band kind of shit. And then, sorry, but
I'll swear away, dude.
I've been told to kind of watch my words. I'm trying right now. I'm working on it, but it's just, we don't want to be pigeonholed ever. I think even like on our older stuff, you can tell that we went from like the Southern rock band, you know, we started picking up a little bit, and then we went into like, we got heavier stuff, but we can go anywhere. And we kind of, I don't listen to a lot of people on the outside, man.
Right.
I think music and like art in itself is based off what you feel and how you can convey emotion through music. And it should be that way, man. I mean, we're not being pressured by nobody. Like, I'm not gonna say nobody by no means, but like, it's not to that point where I'm like so worried about like, oh shit, like I don't know what we're gonna do yet. Because at that point, there's not much gonna happen. I'm set on fuck it.
Right.
I'm set on like I'm doing me. Like we've gotten this far with what the hell we've been doing.
Right.
If you want that to continue, then trust in the process and don't do shit like that. But I know that's not how the business works at the same time. So,
all right, now I'm going to go complete devil's advocate here real quick.
All right, I got you.
So the label says to you, we will get you another tour after the Texas Hippie Coalition tour with Pantera. We'll just go big.
Shit. Okay,
We'll go huge.
Heartstrings there. All right.
But here's the Winger CD. We need you to write 3 ballads and put them out that sound like these Winger ballads. Are you telling them to go fuck themselves, or are you writing 3 Winger ballads so that you can go on that Pantera tour?
God, if you would have picked any other band than Winger, I probably could have pulled it out of my ass. But honestly, who the fuck wants to hear Winger ballads at the same time?
The label does. The label does.
Yeah.
It's a formality. I understand. I want to be able to say, I'd say fuck it, because that's probably not going to fucking happen. But at the same time, I've got some things in the kitty that could be ballads easily. I don't know if they'd be fucking Winger. I'd give her hell, I guess, you know.
Right.
Okay. Hey, if we write those 3 ballads and then we get to play our heavy fucking shit on tour with Pantera, then I might be down for it.
You rework them for the Pantera tour.
That's my thoughts, man. I'll try to find a loophole somewhere.
Right.
The label won't know what the hell our set list is. Fuck them.
Yeah.
As long as people are buying tickets, nobody gives a shit, right?
That's right.
So for you guys, you know, going back to, you know, you talked about you're going to be touring with Texas Hippie Coalition. Obviously you guys are going to be, you know, supporting the new release and whatnot. It was already very difficult for a band like you guys who are establishing yourselves. You're trying to get on as many tours as you can and just, you know, play anywhere and everywhere you possibly can. That was already exceptionally difficult. And now we get the pandemic, and even, you know, professional bands all the time, like, well, we can't go to Australia. We can't go to Europe. We can't do this, you know, all this and there. Talk about it from your guys' perspective when it was already an uphill climb, and now you've got this added just shitstorm of things making it that much more difficult.
Dude, fucking A, man. It's a great question, by the way, because you just kind of like made me think for a second, because it is really hard, man. All of us, again, like betting on ourselves of like, you know, taking out loans, like trying to do something to fucking put something toward ourselves. Because like I'm 31, and I guess I'm the second oldest in the band, but like, it reaches a point, like if you keep trying, like it hurts even more, so we're all at this pinnacle of like fucking toss it all in. It's tough as shit, but we're doing it,
Mm-hmm.
We've all kind of made that decision to just, we're here, man. Like not a lot of bands even get to this fucking point, like there's so many fucking bands that try it and fail. And like everybody talks about success, and like, hell, we haven't exactly reached success. We've only we've licked the taint off of success just a little bit, we have so much further to go, but we're willing to risk it all, man, and do this thing. And sorry, you guys laughing at that shitty joke. Kind of broke me, but
so you're looking for the G spot of success. That's what you're looking for,
exactly.
right?
Yeah. Still searching for it. The mythical clitoris. Okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. My mom's gonna watch this interview and fucking hate it.
She's gonna hate us, not you.
Yeah,
why did you let those guys get you talking about that stuff? Those assholes.
Love you, Mom. I'm sorry. My dirty language and my dirty shit that I've got going on.
Too funny, man. Well, dude, you guys being from Tennessee, it's not necessarily been known for most of the time, most of my life, as a hotbed. Yeah. That being said, Nashville is booming. Nashville, everybody that can't afford to live in LA anymore moves to Nashville. That's really what has happened. They moved to Nashville or Vegas, one of the two.
If you can't afford to live in Nashville, you move to Chattanooga. So
there you go.
We're right here.
But is that good or bad for young bands like yourselves that are Tennessee natives? Because you have so many people that have relocated that kind of, and I say this all the time, so I don't want to put this on you. I'll just make the statement and you can react to it.
All right.
The bulk of the people that moved to Nashville have had their chance and either had success or blown their chance. But they're still out in Nashville, trying to write, trying to do things. My question to you is, with that abundance of people now in that town or in that low part of the country, is that helpful because there's more eyes on Tennessee, or is it hurtful to your band specifically because now you're competing with bands that you never would have had to compete with in the area even 10 years ago?
Honestly, I think in today's day and age of technology, it doesn't matter where the fuck you're from, man. Like, I know that's the old school way of looking at things.
Sure.
You got to move to those big cities and do all that. But there's a lot of talent, especially like recording wise, producing wise, that's like not on mainstream where everybody's eyes are at. Dude, it's so expensive to live in Nashville, even on the outskirts. Like, I get it. I understand where people will move and do that kind of thing, but we've been doing things independently for so long. I mean, if a label told us that we needed to move somewhere, right, then I might have a better answer for you. But at where we are right now, I think technology has done such a crazy thing that, like, I don't think it's helping us or hurting us in this fact, at this point in time. I do wish everybody success, man. I don't want to shit on nobody, man.
Sure.
Like, if you're willing to move and do that, man, like, do you, man, grind it out, do what you fucking can to succeed. Because we're doing the same damn thing, man.
Right on.
We're just working our asses off, and this is a side gig, but we want it to be our thing, and we've dedicated a lot of time, a lot of fucking money into it. So, I want everybody to do what they can at the same time. I don't think it matters which city you live in anymore. Back in the day, though, of course, Nashville was the place to be, especially for like country music.
Right.
God bless, man. That's one place to be, but rock exactly. Everybody says it's dying. I don't think it's fucking dying at all. It's making a comeback. And I don't feel like Nashville is the place for rock exactly. But I could be wrong. It's Music City for a fucking reason.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like it's the place for rock bands, but it does seem like it's the place for people to write. Seems like a lot of these old '80s rock stars are now writing songs for Taylor Swift and those types of people.
Yeah, I mean, there's money to be made in that sense, man, because nobody writes for themselves anymore. I think that's where music is taken away from a lot of things. You know, Freddie Mercury talks about it whenever technology overtakes music, it takes the passion and the feel out of it, you know, and that's real. So like I think all of us as a whole in Sevenstones, we're getting away from that. Like we want to do raw music, you know, we want to do all of it. I do not want computers involved. I want us to do us, you know. I want people to feel the shit, you know. I know that's like tracks playing on you know, computers and everything else, you know, that's what people like, you know, that makes a lot of money, but there's still a shit ton of people that wants real music.
Well, and it seems like your label is on board with that. When you look at the bands, especially if you look at the bands that Pavement has, whether it's you guys, whether it's Dystopica, whether it's Plush, you know, if you just go down the list of bands that they do not do a lot with bands that you know, pre-produce their music.
No, they have a wide genre of who they pick up, but it's pure. It's really pure, man. And Pavement should be a lot bigger than they really are at the same time. And I'm so thankful that they even gave us a fucking chance to be a part of their, like, just the marketing stuff, man. Again, thank you, Pavement. Thank you, Tim. Thank you for everything. You guys are doing fucking great, you know.
Well, Pavement, and look, I'm old. I'll admit it. I'm 50, whatever, 54 years old.
That ain't old at all.
Well, it's in this business, it's old. I'm old enough to remember when Pavement was handed me records by bands like Brickbath, and they were like, "Here, listen to this," you know, and it was just like brutal Pantera-like extreme metal. And Pavement,
the recording was not so.
Yeah, exactly. It sounded like it was recorded in a, you know, $500 in somebody's basement that had a mixing board.
Fucking trash can or a dumpster fire. Yeah,
exactly.
That's our first EP, by the
way. But it does seem like Pavement has come a very long way. You know, they're obviously not a major, but they're kind of taking the space that maybe like in metal, like a Century Media or the likes of that took 15 years ago. They're kind of, or like even a label like Wind Up that somehow produced like Creed or whatever. You know, before they produced Creed, they were kind of that middle between local band, them, and then you jumped to wherever.
They're giving bands a chance, like Sevenstones, to do something. You know, I will forever be grateful, whether our relationship ends after this or like anything like that. They're giving people a chance to do something with their shit,
right?
Because without them, we wouldn't be able to do a lot of things that we're doing. Like, we can do local shows, like a big band comes in out of then because our name is who we are, but we play in Chattanooga. Like, I get it, but I don't want to play in Chattanooga all the time, man. Like, it's like so many bands are okay with just playing in their city over and over again. Like, oh man, we opened for a big band. That's fucking cool, man. But I want to be like across the fucking seas. I want to be playing Wembley type shit, not you know, not just be, you know, at the fucking local bar because, you know, a big band comes in. So Pavement is giving, you know, they're taking a lot of risks on a lot of bands, and I'm very, very lucky that they're taking a risk on ours at the same time. And fucking A, I want it to be a good thing.
Good thing for them too. And you want it to be a good thing for them too. If you guys are successful, then, you know, look, and again, I know I keep pointing to Plush. It's only because I know them real well.
Because Plush is blowing the fuck up. Yeah, and the only reason why we are with Pavement is because we saw Plush.
Oh, no kidding.
I swear to God, we went to a show in Atlanta. It was Plush opened up, Nonpoint, then Seether.
Okay.
And our manager, sorry, this is actually my dad too at the same time. I know that seems kind of fucking weird, you know, but he talked to them and was like, who you guys signed with? And they were like, Pavement. So the next thing, you know, being the great fucking manager he is, you know, he looked at Pavement and started talking to Tim, and then it got the ball the ball rolling, you know?
Right.
And, you know, I feel like we have decent music to where we got our foot in the door. It's not like some
Sure.
fucking, like, I can fart through a harmonica and the pavement's like, oh yeah, man. Yeah. But, you know, it took that, initiative from, I'm going to say management instead of saying dad. It sounds kind of fucking odd, but for him, like reaching out and then talking to us and being like, we would like to work with you. That's all it fucking took. Like, it's a huge thing. Like, again, we're nowhere yet, but I want to be able for us to be successful and to make Pavement more successful.
Sure.
And I want to be on that. Like, I want to be on the Plush level and more, because goddamn, they're good, man. Plush is so good.
They're great. I'll tell you what. You need to look up whoever books their touring. Jesus, talk about unreal. There are plenty of bands that have had plenty of success that wish that they could have the year that Plush had last year.
Dude, same. Like, I'm wearing a Seether hoodie. Sorry, it's on the other side. I'm wearing a Seether hoodie. Like, I was like, holy shit. Seether's one of my biggest inspirations. And then seeing them open and then getting in contact with it was fucking nuts, man.
Hell yeah.
The whole night was crazy, but like, it's huge, man. It's so big, and people don't realize that at the same time. It's a big thing.
It definitely is, man. Well, dude, you mentioned before, and we'll mention it again, that you are going out with Big Daddy Rich and the Texas Hippie Coalition. I hope your liver is ready for this.
Dude, I've trained my liver since I was 14 years old, man. I am so fucking ready for this.
You know what, dude? I'm a big dude. I'm a 400-pound dude. And Big Daddy Rich, this is no lie, I was at Rock on the Range one year, and I was interviewing with him. He come up to me, or I went up to him, and I said, hey, man, can I get a picture before you finish? Like we did the interview. And I said, can we get a picture? And he's like, yeah. And I was trying to get my buddy to come over with the camera. And finally, I get my buddy, and Rich had to wait a couple of minutes while I got my buddy ready. This monster puts me in a headlock with one arm and picked me up off the ground for the photo. Literally, one-armed, 400 pounds. Let's take it now. And he's a character, and they're all characters, but he is a character and a half, man.
Dude, we've talked to him a little bit. I'm so excited. I would gladly take a headlock from Big Daddy Rich for sure.
I don't know, man.
I don't know,
man. Akin is not kidding. He is not. I saw that picture. I was like, that is like, I think they found Sasquatch, man. Like, that is a big son of a bitch. Dude.
Well, he's what, like 6'8", probably
Holy
5
shit.
bills.
Yeah.
Hold on, I did not know he was that damn.
He's monstrous, and he wears
a
a big old cowboy hat on top. It's like being in a headlock with like Shaq.
Yeah.
Back 7'1", there's a little bit of a difference, but there's some weight difference there for sure.
Yeah, Big Daddy Rich is a big dude. He's one.
Yeah,
he's a guy does not need security. We'll never need security.
I didn't know he was that fucking tall.
He's big, man.
When you asked me about my liver, it's like, dude, I'm 5'10", so it's like, I can hold liquor like the rest. And their initials are THC. I'm not going to mention, if nobody else listening to this understand what that means, but I can't hold up to that. But drinking wise, I can. But by the time our first show's in Texas with them in Houston, I'm probably not going to fucking make it. I have to make it to New Orleans the next day, and then we got 3 days off. So
there you
I
go.
have 3 days to recuperate, so I can actually, get initiated in what's going on, because they all seem so sweet, really nice dudes, and they love to party, man. And we're here for it.
And I will tell you this: they're going to push you every night, man, musically, because they kill live. I don't care how much they party during the day. They're one of those weird bands that you just see getting hammered sometimes ahead of a gig, and then they get up on stage and just bring it. And it's like, what, did you sub these guys in? How'd that happen?
Oh, we're fucked. I think we're fucked, man. I can handle my liquor, but there's a couple of guys in the bands that can't beforehand.
Right.
Shit. I'm going to have to be very, very self-conscious. Because I know there's rules. I don't smoke before before like playing.
Sure.
I don't do anything crazy. Like I'll drink, you know. There's an old saying that one of our managers says, Scotty, he said like 2-beer Drew, man, 2-beer Drew, you're good. It's grown since then. It's grown a lot since. It's like 2 shots and 4 beers, Drew, you're good. And I feel like Texas Hippie might push that fucking envelope.
Yeah, they may.
That's one of those times when it's not fun to be the singer because everybody else, like the bass player, the drummer, the guitar player, they could just get hammered and wake up the next morning sounding awful and be like, all right, I can still do the gig. Whereas as the singer, man, you wake up roached. You're like, God damn it.
I gotta hydrate really quick before this next show is gonna start.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been there, done that.
I'm very familiar with that myself. Yes.
But I have not done it with Texas Hippie yet.
Nice.
So if we have another interview after this, I'll tell you how it fucking goes.
This will be the litmus test. How much can you handle and still make it through the next day's show?
I'm gonna have to keep a chart, man. I'm gonna have to keep a chart. It's gonna be the Texas Hippie Coalition chart of like how fucked up can I get from day to day and not suck fucking completely. All right.
You'll have your laptop open with a spreadsheet and people are like, what are you doing there? Oh, I'm figuring out tour expenses, yada yada. Instead it says like May 7th, Houston, Texas, 48 beers, half bottle of Jack. Like, you know, how did I feel?
Don't do ever again. Don't smoke the Grav Bowl.
Right.
Let it go.
Big note on the front: do not get on their tour bus ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Yeah. Don't act like you're a badass. You're fine. Don't need it. Yeah.
If there's smoke coming out the door, don't go in.
Yeah.
Let it go. I'll let my drummer go in all day. He can handle it. Like I get that. But everybody else, man, we get too fucked up for that kind of stuff. It won't be fun.
Right on, man. Well, dude, tell people where we should send them to keep up with you guys and tour dates and where they can buy merch and all that kind of stuff.
Dude, SevenstonesOfficial.com. It's got all of our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that fun jazz. SevenstonesOfficial.com. Everything's on there. Get merch. Please buy merch. For the love of God, buy anything.
Yeah.
You know, I've been making this really shitty joke. I was like, Isaiah might sell you like pictures of his feet, you know, or whatever people are into nowadays, you know. His OnlyFans shit. We've been thinking. I was like, we're a bunch of chunky guys. Like, who the fuck wants to buy anything like that? But we're trying, you know. If anybody asks for it, we'll sell it. We'll sell it.
Well, you'll look like thin guys next to Big Daddy Rich, so it's all good.
There
right?
you go.
This is true. Oh my God, we have to do all our dirty pictures next to Big Daddy Rich. No offense, Rich. You're just a big guy. That's all.
Well, you know, and I'll tell you what, dude. Going back to your point, I say this all the time to everybody. I say it literally in every interview I do. Buy something from the bands. Do not be satisfied with, well, I helped them out. I played it 3 times on Spotify, because that doesn't help shit. Let's just call it the way it is.
Dude,
if you get
like
1 million streams, you get what, $100?
Yeah, it's like half a cent for whatever. Like,
yeah, it's useless.
It's not money worth.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I gave, being a young guy, like I was like not happy with Lars Ulrich back in the day with the whole Napster thing. I was like, now I fucking kind of understand it. But it's not like we're making Metallica money by no fucking means.
Right.
Yeah, damn. Like, what fuels bands? I mean, I think even Randy Bly of like Lamb of God even said it. We're glorified T-shirt salesmen.
Yeah.
It's kind of like where everything's at. Like, a lot of the tickets go back to like booking agents and you know, different other things. Like, buy merch from bands, man. It's a big thing, especially local bands or young bands, up and coming bands. I say local bands, sorry, my bad. But young bands, like that, if you like them, go talk to. Like, we hang out after every show.
Very
cool. We'll come out, we'll hang out by the merch booth, like have a great fucking time. Like, we'll drink, talk to everybody, we'll take pictures, you know, we'll sign a baby or a titty, depending on what's going on. Like, we don't give a shit. Like, we're right there, you know, just we'll talk to everybody. It's simple as that. Even if it's like buying a sticker for $5, it goes a long way.
Well, just gas alone, $4 a gallon for gas or more, depending on where you're at in the country. Yeah. And then making the drive, you know, 10 hours to go from Atlanta to wherever, to Myrtle Beach.
It's
you
a
know,
long fucking way, man.
it's a long drive. It's a lot of money. You know, it's a band. You got to eat somewhere in there, you know.
Yeah, well, yeah, we drink a
Sometimes.
lot of our meals at the same time. Depending if our riders actually, kind of upheld at the same time. But yeah, we like to eat every now and then. Like, fuel goes a long way.
That's right. Very good.
And it goes a long way for a lot of these other bands, man. That's the reason why a lot of the big bands, they have to cancel a lot of stuff. It's because
Sure.
they can't find a bus or they can't afford the fuel because, god damn, like fuel's fucking horrible, man.
Oh, it's crazy now. It's absolutely.
Especially the diesel. Yeah, especially diesel.
It's look, the whole situation is nuts. And this is why, and again, not to get on my soapbox here, but I will,
Go for it, man. Get on that soapbox, preach it.
Well, it's the whole reason you need to buy and not just stream. You need to buy. Like I don't buy any merch or any music. I'll tell you that now. Here's my music
It's so
player.
accessible. It's so hard to like, oh yeah, man, I got $12 to buy an album right now. But man, I really like. It's really hard, but like.
Well, but I'll buy hats. I buy tons of hats. I have hats all over the place for different bands, and because I do want to support the bands, and I just know if I don't, if people have any kind of outward thought other than the 2 seconds in front of them, ooh, good song, like sound, if they can get past that and actually get into what's really going on out there. You're seeing a reduction in new bands coming up. Everybody acknowledges that you're seeing less and less of those bands. And you're seeing less tours that are coming that are not old national bands. The reason for both is the bands can't make the transition. They don't have a daddy called Atlantic Records throwing them $2 million to go run around for 3 years and try and make it anymore. You guys got to make it $30 at a time on T-shirts or $10 at a time on beanies or, and you can't even sell music anymore because the industry is your worst enemy. The industry has told everybody that music is worth nothing. That's just background noise, that it has no value unless it's on a splatter vinyl, and then it has some value. But if it's just songs, it's worthless.
We're backtracking now. We're going back to vinyl. Vinyl is like a huge thing. I think somebody asked me that recently. It's like, you guys gonna have it on vinyl? I was like, fuck, we can have that. We can afford to have that pressed on fucking vinyl. Like, I just want somebody to buy, anything off like iTunes. We're working toward getting like physical CDs at this point. Yeah. But like, it's so hard.
It is.
You're not wrong, man.
No, it's the industry's fault. I have said this from the smallest bands all the way up to David Ellefson of Megadeth fame. Guy with a Grammy, I said it to. I've asked this question over and over. Why do you put your albums on Spotify? And to a guy, smallest band to biggest band, they all say, well, it's what everybody else is doing. Yeah. And it's like, that is the worst answer ever. It's
for somebody like David Ellefson, it's one thing because he's well known.
Yeah.
For us, fuck, we have to, because we have to spread it out. Like, we want it to be an STD. I want everybody to catch the herpes that is Sevenstones. So like that is our best chance of like spreading everything. But shit, what is his name? I can't even think of his name. Garth Brooks, the guy won't put it on anything.
Yeah.
And he did that exclusive shit through Walmart, and everybody's like, well, he's kind of an asshole for it. Why does he have so much fucking money right now? It's because
exactly.
And not everybody has that.
Yeah, it's a weird time, man. To me personally, I just think that the labels. I don't think it's you guys' fault. I think it's the labels' faults in general. I think the labels have done a terrible job. You could still make Spotify and whatever cool and make money. You could literally say, "Here's 5 songs. The album is 10. If you like these 5, buy the other 5 for $5." Even if it was.
Don't want that though, man.
Well, I know that, dude. The labels are hoping that y'all go away and that AI takes over and people will just take bands that they can pre-program. Here, make me something that sounds like, I don't know, it sounds like Limp Bizkit but has a deeper voice. Go. That's what the industry wants, because then they don't have to pay anybody anything.
It's scary but true at the same time.
It sucks. It just sucks the way it is. But for now, it ain't like that way all the way. So
No, it's not there yet. God damn it, we're still trying. Don't do
That's
the
right.
AI thing on me, Ryan.
That's right. Instead, go to sevenstonesofficial.com and buy some merch, you cheap fucks. Jesus.
Yes, please love us a little bit. Or like, I don't know, like come to a show and smack Isaiah in the back of the fucking head. Do something. You know. I would also
See,
like
that's something you could sell. Smack Isaiah for $5.
$5 in the back of the head. Smack the color out of this fucking mohawk. Fucking lay it in. He's gonna kick my ass when I talk to him tomorrow. But
I'm gonna laugh when I see this on TMZ. Band selling verbal punishment.
Physical
Hey, dude, if
abuse.
we make it a
Physical
TMZ,
abuse.
we're doing something. I'd like to point that out at the same time.
Good point.
All promotion is good promotion, right?
That's right.
Hey, there's no bad press at this point in time.
That's
man.
right.
We're
Nice.
not doing anything off the wall to where the whole world will hate us. They're just like, okay, these guys are kind of fucking idiots. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. But, we
That's
write
right.
music and have a good time. That's all we're trying to do.
Right. As long as they play 30 seconds of a song before and after the clip, right?
Yeah.
It's all good.
Damn it, TikTok.
Nice. Well, dude, let's wrap this one up. I'm going to play a piece of Break, which is the first tune on Hurt Turns Into Hate. It's a great song, great record. I do recommend everybody go check it out. It's Hurt Turns Into Hate. Sevenstones is the band. No space in the name, just Seven Stones.
No space.
Like just one word, Sevenstones.
I would like to take a second and say hi to my friend Bobby that's watching right now. Bobby, what's up, brother?
Yeah, Bobby, how you been, pal?
Did Bobby buy any product? That's the
Yeah.
question.
Bobby definitely has. He's definitely bought a T-shirt before. He's already been there, done that.
All right, then.
But I was told he was watching. I'm sorry to interrupt anything.
No,
but
it's all good.
Please continue with your badass intro because you make this sound really fucking cool.
That's awesome.
Well, dude, we're going to wrap it up with a piece of Break. So Seven Stones, sevenstonesofficial.com. And Drew, man, thanks so much for joining us here on Chris Akin Presents.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, John. You guys
No
are
problem.
awesome.
All right,
Take
bro.
it easy,
Take
man.
care,
Stay safe out there.
Thank you.
Peace.
There's no hope for you anymore. As it all falls down to the floor. For goodness sakes, with all you take, I just can't wait to watch you break.
Do you have the idea for a great podcast, but don't have the space or equipment to produce one? Don't wait another minute. Audio Bay Studios is the best place to produce and stream your podcast live. With 4K cameras, professional equipment and more, Audio Bay Podcasting Studio is the best place to showcase your great ideas. Call us today at 440-539-1150 for more information and to book your podcasting session with Audio Bay Podcasting Studio. Call today.
Yeah, make that call today, you fucks. So how fun was that? Drew's a good dude, man. I like
That was really good. That was really good, man.
I like you know what I like best, not just about Drew, but just in general. I like when we establish that they can swear early.
Yeah.
I like that I threw a fuck bomb in there like really quickly, so that Drew knew he could swear, and then he came right off the wagon of the, because I'm sure he's going into it. He's like, all right, don't swear, be polite, do the thing, and not swear. And then once I start with this fucking thing, blah blah blah, and then he's like, this fucking, he was totally loose, which I like better because then you get the real guy, not the, not the plastic guy that the label probably wishes that would show up. But like the band, like the guy, Drew seems like a good dude, and what a tour. Those guys in Texas Hippie, that's going to be a fun show, man.
Yep, that's definitely going to be a good one. And yeah, I'm with you. I like the record a lot. He was a really cool guy. A great interview. Man, I feel for him. It's that touring in this climate environment, whatever word you want to use, is an absolute bitch for established bands. But I mean, like you said, there's not many bands coming up, and it's for that exact reason that getting out there and being able to do it is so cost prohibitive that they just can't. I mean, he was very clear on the fact early in the interview when he mentioned, yeah, I've got guys that are all in. We've had all these lineup changes, and now the guys are all in. And he didn't have to say it. The guys in previous lineups, they saw what they would have to go through to quote unquote make it, and we're like, I can't hang. That's just like you said, if people aren't buying product, it's not going to happen. I mean, so few people really understand what goes into this sort of lifestyle and this profession. I mean, they don't know that like what you when you see people at the merch table for a band like a Sevenstones when they're like the opening band on a tour with Texas Hippie Coalition. Yeah. Every single cent that goes across that merch table might get them to the next town. Yeah. Might get them to the next town.
Well, dude, we met up with, I don't know, were you part of this? I know Steph was, and I know Kelly was. I don't remember if you were too. But that first time that we saw Dirty Honey come through, and they played their set, and they were opening for Slash. And 3 seconds after their set, they were like running out to the merch table. Yeah. Because they knew it was in their best interest to shake hands and take pictures. And I mean, even with us, they didn't know us from anybody. They gave us 10, 15 minutes of time, where, now I doubt they do that, because they've progressed a level to where, honestly, they probably can't do that now. There'll be too many people that would be at the merch table and they wouldn't be selling any product. But at a Slash show, when they were the unknown band and nobody knew who they were, hey, we'll spend all day with you as long as you buy a T-shirt.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing is that middle. There's not a ton of money to be made. There's not enough money to get people from entry level to, I don't know, Motley Crue level or whatever, and unfortunately that's the portrait that so many bands paint for themselves is, well, we got to be the next Metallica. We got to be the next, and unfortunately in today's world, if you get to the, I don't know, Hailstorm level, you've done something.
Yeah.
And how big is that? And that's not that, to me, that's not that big. Is that huge? I mean, that's what, 5,000 seaters?
I mean, anymore it is. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, you kind of alluded to this in the interview. The only tours you really see on a major level are legacy bands. Yeah. You Aerosmith, Metallica, Guns N' Roses. You're not seeing Texas Hippie Coalition, playing, at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse and stuff like that. It's just not. I mean, the concert attendance is down. Expendable income is down. I mean, dude, I was looking at the ticket sales for the new Dream Theater tour the other day, and they're not good. I mean, I was really surprised.
Dream Theater joke here.
Yeah. If you want to, like, they're going out with Animals as leaders who, the Dream Theater crowd knows Tosin Abasi, and that's the kind of stuff they're into. Devin Townsend, like prog fans love that guy, and then you get Dream Theater, so it's a really good package. And they've sold for the Cleveland show maybe 60% of the seats, and then.
And how big a place are they playing here?
Nautica.
So that's 5,000.
It's less than that. If correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's more like 2,500 or 3,000.
No, it's bigger than that. It's like 5,000. I
don't know, man. But I mean, dude, the place they're playing the next night in Newport, Kentucky, is. I mean, I'm not even kidding. Like, let's say you make a sandwich for yourself, okay, and you cut it in half on a straight line, and you just take one bite right out of the middle. Right. That's the only part. That's basically what the layout of the place looks like. And the only seats that are sold are the entire front row. It's where I bought my ticket, and the little bite. I mean, it's got to be a few hundred tickets that have sold for that thing.
But Dream Theater, look, and I'm not trying to diss Dream Theater here. Shocking, but they did just tour.
Yeah, but their concert attendance has been down, and it's dude. I've
How
been
was
seeing
the
them since
attendance when you
'99.
saw them in a few months ago?
Well, they had to downgrade the venue. They moved venues to a smaller place, and it's in all the bands that I've seen have been doing stuff like that. I mean, think about it this way: how many headlining tours have you seen Sevendust do in the last several years? I can think of one, maybe two that were like a full-on thing. Otherwise, they're opening. Yeah. They're strictly going out as an opening act. Like, I mean, this next run, they're going to be out with Wolfgang Van Halen and Alter Bridge.
Right.
But they just don't headline on their own very much anymore because the money is not there.
Yeah. No, and that sucks. I mean, and that tour, I'm going to go to it. I'll just tell you now, I'm going to go to it because I love Alter Bridge. I'm obviously friendly with Miles Kennedy. I like Wolfie. I absolutely love Sevendust. Yep. Probably my favorite band of the 2000 era. I mean, I worship Sevendust, so I want to go. But that being said, even that tour, that does not excite me as a show because I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen Sevendust and Alter Bridge how many times? Or some version of it, or Tremonti. And I've seen Tremonti and Sevendust. I know Tremonti had Wolfie in the band at one point, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think, so I've probably seen that too and just don't even remember. I just thought it was just the fat guy playing bass over there. But, I probably didn't even know because I really didn't care. But, I mean, just overall, it's like, that's just a group of friends. Might as well just add Nonpoint to the show and just make it the whole family out there, Yep. And that's not good either. Dude, there's a lot of weird shit going on with touring right now. Me and Toomey were talking about this today. Seems like the smaller bands are going out for longer than the established bands. Seems like Plush and The Warning just went out, or The Warning and special guest Plush, because The Warning's a zillion times bigger than Plush. But they're playing like 35 shows in 37 days or something, like a lot of shows. And then they announced, I saw I'll call it Perspective because we're not allowed to announce it till tomorrow, but I saw a Perspective lineup of a new Lamb of God tour that's 8 shows. And Metal Church announced their U.S. tour, which is like 8 shows or 10 shows. And it's like the little bands have figured out, because they make $1,500 a show or whatever, that they can make exactly enough to play that show to get to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. And they're going to come back making zero money. The big bands who, it's all they do, all these little bands, they go out on tour for a month and they go back and work at fucking Walmart or whatever. Mm-hmm. Just like Drew was just telling us that, they all have jobs. The big bands, they don't have jobs, so they got to make it go, so they can only go if they get the right guarantee. I'd imagine Lamb of God has to make $100,000 a night to do 8 shows, so that $800,000 minus agents and staging and booking and insurance and all that other shit, so that they come home with, enough money to cover them for the next 6 months or whatever.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's a weird, to me, it's the worst time ever for touring. It just sucks that you're seeing bands play venues that, like you just saw Queensryche, and I know it was a great show. I don't even have to get a review of it to know it was a great show, but they're playing venues too small for Queensryche. Queensryche should be seen on a bigger stage, not necessarily the biggest stage, but you look at them playing. Where'd you go and see them? At McKees Rocks, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and it was about the same size as, probably held about the same amount of people as the Roxino, where we see them in Cleveland and Northfield.
Just 2,000 people, roughly. 2,000, 2,500 people. And when you compare that and you go on YouTube and you watch Operation Live Crime on a huge stage in front of 20,000 people, it's like, that's where that band belongs. Not on this list. It's great that you get to see them up close. It's great that you can see the spit coming out of Todd LaTorre's mouth, but it's not appropriate for what that band's history has defined. And that's frustrating, Well,
go ahead.
No,
sorry. It's like I said, like disposable income is down. I mean, it's just, people always talk about inflation, but I mean, it does hit people, and it's, and costs are up. I mean, let's face it, some of these shows are astronomical in price.
Yeah.
Because they have to be. I mean, these bands have to say, well, in order for this to be viable for me to go out, I have to have this much money. And so the venue, they want to pull people in, make the liquor sales and all that. So they have to pay that. But if they're paying that jacks up the ticket price.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just this horrible cycle.
It is. It's a bad cycle. And speaking of astronomical prices, I threw you this text earlier today. I'm going to bring this up on the show as well. Okay. Now we're gonna swing the pendulum all the way to the other side here, and go with a band that's having no problems with the money and the expense of touring, but I think are fucking up, and that's Metallica. Now, Metallica kicked off the 72 Seasons tour. You and Brian on Talking Into Infinity, we had a nice discussion about the album. I thought that was a lot of fun, actually, us breaking down the album. And I don't think we all three agreed on like one song, but, we all had different takes on every song, which was interesting and fun.
Yep.
But the tour is now starting. And for those that don't know, it's a 2-year tour. It's pretty much every weekend for 2 years. But with the 2 years of the touring, it's every Friday and Sunday in a city. And you had to buy tickets for both nights. At least the initial ticket launch was for both nights. And I bought mine because I wanted to see Pantera. I'm going to Detroit. I wanted to see Pantera. And especially I was seeing those videos of Pantera in Chile or wherever, and it just looked really awesome.
Yeah.
The big stage, the big exploding fire-breathing Pantera sign.
Yep.
The whatchamacallit, the snakes from Trendkill all over. I mean, it just looked awesome cool. So in my head, I had the thought of, and I told you this the day I bought the tickets, I'm going to go and see Wolfie, I'm going to see Pantera, and I'm going to drive home from Detroit.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go the second night. I really wasn't that enthused about seeing Metallica again, especially because the last time I saw Metallica, they sucked. So I just didn't want to go necessarily. But then slowly but surely I got turned as I watched some old classic clips and even some more recent clips and seeing the big stage and the big screens and everything. It looked like it was going to be a lot of great fun. And thinking about then I'll also see the Pantera set with all the fire and stuff. This is going to be awesome. Fast forward to now. Metallica's record is out. They played the first shows on the new tour, the 72 Seasons tour.
Overseas, yep.
And now that I see the stage, I'm horrified. I'm thinking that everything I wanted to see, I'm not going to get. It just looks not good. And maybe it is. I don't know. I mean, I watched a bunch of video today, and there's the stage does have lasers and some things and, stuff and some fire, but it's boring. Look at this. And I'm going to put this up for anybody that has not seen this yet. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I'm looking at this. And this is the stage. It doesn't look like a stage. It looks like a racetrack.
It does.
It does. And these guys are spaced out. So first problem I have with it, and I'll move forward to where you can see the band playing. They're spaced out so far apart that it doesn't even feel like you're watching a band anymore. Yeah. It literally almost feels like there's 4 different sessions going on around the stage, and I don't know if I don't dig it. And the snake pit is too big, this area here, which is the snake pit.
Yeah.
And I've sat in the snake pit on the Black Album tour. In Reno, I sat in the snake pit, and it was cool because it was probably about 50 people. It was just a small little section in the middle, and there was like 50 of us just losing our shit.
Yeah.
That's got to be, this is a stadium, so how many people do you think that is? 2,000?
Yeah,
At least
yeah.
8,000? At least 1,000, right?
Yeah, in the middle there, yeah.
Yeah. In the middle, there's at least 1,000. So this, if you're this guy sitting in here somewhere,
Right,
how
yeah.
special is that seat?
That was the first thing I was thinking of. If you're the asshole right at the center of the Metallica donut, that is like you can't see anything.
Yeah, and to get in this spot, you had to pay probably several hundred to maybe several $1,000s to be in that space,
Yeah.
to be in there. So if you're this guy over here and you're still a mile away from anybody playing, what good is that spot?
Yeah.
That's the cool factor is gone. And to me, the cool factor, this is the part of what I thought was cool with the Metallica set was the giant screens and how they were showing, like movie footage and different footage that fit the Metallica songs on the big screens. Well, they have these things up here in the top corners, like the four corners that are little monitor things.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all they have this time is just these, there's like 4 or 5 of them total. And it's like, okay, so it's not a full screen. It's just like a round thing, the size of a speaker, like of the speakers. So it's like not that big. And then you got this plain stage. And I don't know, this stage just, let's forward, I'll forward in a little bit here. Let's see if we can find some. Like here, I'll mute it. But here they are playing. Maybe. I can't even tell if they're on the stage.
Let's
move to a different. There you go. Let's get to a spot.
That's crazy.
See, there they are. Here's Hetfield, maybe. And I mean, this looks boring as shit to me, doesn't it to you?
Yeah, but I mean that's one of the detriments to playing in a stadium as opposed to an arena.
Yeah.
In an arena, you've got a closed ceiling, so you can hang shit. But when you're talking about these stadiums, you may not. In a lot of cases, you don't have that.
Yeah.
And you probably can't run cables to like hold it's just
No, I get
maybe it's
it.
too dangerous or something. But yeah, this is just like
I'm not by any means at all trying to say that Metallica's not trying to give back to their fans. I think they are. They definitely spent $1 zillion building this stage.
oh yeah.
They definitely spent, to put all the mics up and all the lighting and all the craziness that's with it. They spent a lot of money on this thing. There's no question about that. I'm just thinking it ain't very good. I don't care how much money they spent. I mean, look, we've been looking at Kirk Hammett walking a half a mile here, and we ain't seen another guy.
Well, yeah, you're not going to. I mean, they obviously they have to choreograph who's going to go where.
Yeah.
Because you just can't you're not going to have Kirk just stand there the whole time because then the one side of the stage
there's
only
James.
gets Kirk.
There's James a half a mile away. Now, that does not feel like a Metallica show to me when he's there and Kirk Hammett is, clear across the stage. Look at how far he is from Robert right here. He's far.
It just seems impersonal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. I think that's my issue with it. I understand why they do it. I mean, they're the biggest band on the planet, so you want to go out and you have to make it look like, hey, we're the biggest band on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. There's something missing.
Yeah.
It's just not Metallica.
No, it's just 4 guys playing. Really, is what it feels like. It's too blown up or too big. It's almost like their vision was bigger than they are.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm thinking. Hey, look at this shit. Robert doesn't even know if Hetfield fell off the stage, he wouldn't know for 2 songs.
Wouldn't that be great? One guy goes down, the rest just keep going. They can't even see him.
It could, and they might not even notice. Look, he's trying to get them both in the shot, and he can't do it. I mean, it's just I'm not feeling this stage. But even less feeling this stage am I for opening bands. Because there's no way Metallica's going to give Pantera the whole stage.
Well, I mean,
No way.
Have we gotten any footage of the openers? I think we got some footage of was it Floor
Jansen? Yeah.
Yeah, so we got some stuff
Well,
from her.
let me see if I can't find some.
The other band is what? Architects on the European run, if I remember right. I think it's Architects.
Or Ice Nine Kills or somebody.
That's the shitty night in America. Five Finger Death Punch and Ice Nine Kills. Because the good night is Friday with Mammoth WVH and Pantera. But yeah, I mean, dude, they have to give the bands the whole stage because you can't just shut off. Oh, wow, I guess they could. They are Metallica. Like shut off.
They could say you can only go you can only go 3 fucking platforms over or something.
Yeah, right.
I mean, who knows what they're gonna do? You know, I mean, that's the real question: is what kind of space are they gonna give them? Floor Jansen.
Well, and imagine if they do that, which you know. Probably it's what they're doing, and then you're on the other side of the arena, like you know, you're looking at their backs all night long. That's all you get.
Well, that's my fear for Pantera. Is I'm up in the seats somewhere.
Yeah,
you know, I'm up in the seats somewhere, and it's like, what am I gonna get? Am I gonna get a cool set, or am I gonna get you know,
bunch of asses?
Shit. Oh, there we go. Is this her?
Yeah,
I don't know if this is the Metallica. I mean, it's definitely no. This isn't the Metallica set. Hold on. Fucking shit.
You think it'd be easier to find?
I'm trying.
Yeah, it's too impersonal. Like I was saying, it's just if I'm going to a Metallica show, like let's say you're not a fan of watching Rob, well then you know you can look at Lars or James or Kirk, but in this instance you can't. If Rob's in front of you, you can't see all the way across. Like it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, like she's behind this guy here. Let me maybe move to a different scene or something. See, she's kind of near her drummer. I don't know where the rest of her band is. Well, there's a band guy over here somewhere.
Maybe
there's a band guy way over here. Maybe they are allowed to spread out somewhat, but
or one of them did fall off the stage.
Yeah, it could very well be. Because
I told you not to miss production rehearsals.
There ain't a guitar in sight.
Oh my god!
Drummer and a singer. Well, there's a guitar player over here, and there's the bass player over here. All right, she's making the stroll. See, this would suck if you were sitting in these seats up here. This would totally suck. You're just watching their backs.
And this is obviously filmed from the Snake Pit, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
So this is from ground level.
Yeah, this sucks.
And look how far. Like to our point about that dude in the middle a minute ago. Like this is kind of what you would be seeing, and this is not.
This sucks.
I mean, granted, it's like we know that with cell phone footage, you're closer than this appears.
Yeah.
But it's still like, man, oh man, you're not seeing a lot of this show.
No. And I think they are. If you notice, they're all staying in one place.
Yeah,
I think they're limited to probably from the drummer to the guitar player here. Oh, Jesus, this guy. Hold your camera still, Dick.
Yeah,
we're trying to watch this. Yeah, I this does not look like a fun show.
If you're Metallica and you're the biggest band on the planet, are you still pulling the whole "you can only stand here"? You're like, hey, you want to try and go around the whole stage? You go for it.
Honestly, I don't think they even have a clue. I think it's some stage manager or some assortment of stage crew that runs all that. I can't imagine the Metallica's coming out there going, "Hey, let's see what Floor Jansen's doing tonight."
Well, no, but I mean, like before the tour even starts, you know, they would say, "Hey, give them this much space. Give
no way,
so and so this much space." Like,
no way they're even bothered with this nonsense. That stuff is definitely coming from some stage manager, tour manager, you know, agency, whatever. Sure, the agency said, "Sure, Floor, you can play this show, $50,000.
Yeah,
pay us $50,000, and you can be on our stage."
Right.
See, now look at these things. That's like a shot of the camera thing. I mean, that's nice, I guess, but that's put in there 100% so that because you're not going to be able to see if you're anywhere but the front couple of rows.
Yeah.
This sucks.
Yeah, if you're paying for a band on the level of Metallica, you want more than this.
Yeah.
it's not, you're not going to a show at the Agora with like Dirty Honey or, Greta Van Fleet or Queensryche or something. Like, you want that production, and you want, like you said, those big video screens and all that kind of stuff. And it's,
yeah, I'm not
man.
feeling this at all. I mean, at all. Let's try a different video. I just want to make sure that we're not just selling this on horrible video.
Well, and honestly, I mean, you have to worry about the set lists they're going to play too, because it's a no repeat weekend.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a completely different set list both nights. So when you're not going to get, Creeping Death and Seek and Destroy It, the stuff that the average fan wants to hear all the time. I mean, you and I are fucking sick to death of those songs, but like, you're going to get some of the worst trash ever. They're going to be pulling out B-sides from Saint Anger, and you're going to spend all this money to look at this boring ass show, and you're going to get like Sweet Amber or some
well, dude,
some crap off a Reload or something.
Day one, they're pulling out Until It Sleeps.
Ugh.
Until It Sleeps was on the first show. I was like, come on, really?
Yeah, I just. By the way, what the hell is this? A guy in a tuxedo on stage with her? What the hell is that?
I don't know what this is about.
Oh.
I don't know that I'd have been thrilled. Well, of course, she's huge in that part of the world, so.
Well, she's huge right here, too, because she's pregnant.
Is she pregnant? Ugh.
Dude, I mean, can't you see?
Yeah, well, she might just be fat.
I was going to say, she didn't just get fat only in the belly area and everything else is normal. Like,
heavy drinker.
Yeah, nothing but beer.
That's right. Well, that's what I want to see, too. Pregnant lady in short shorts.
Well, I mean, if you're her and you're like, hey, Metallica wants you to open you in. Yeah. Yes, I am. Oh, aren't you 7 months pregnant? I'm opening for Metallica. Fuck you.
Yeah,
I'll drop the kid on stage. I'll drop the kid on stage.
I'll name the kid Bread Fan. It doesn't matter.
Bread Fan Jensen.
That's right. She's still I think she's one of the top 5 most trafficked interviews that I've ever done.
Really?
With her, yeah. Yeah, it did something like 100,000 plays or something.
What is this guy?
She must have. I mean, that's symphonic metal, so I'm sure there's probably.
That's true.
Well, I mean, we could turn it up and hear it.
What is this guy? There's metal in there?
All right, that's enough of that.
Yeah, I didn't hear any metal.
Yeah,
I
she
heard
can sing her ass off, though. She's got a fucking killer voice.
Oh, she's a phenomenal vocalist. This just looks kind of weird. It's, but yeah,
these people ain't even watching. She's not even looking at the stage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because these people, like, they pay to do this, and it's general admission, so they get there and they want to get their spot up front because they don't want to be that dude in the middle of the donut that, can't see anything.
Yeah, this just doesn't look appealing at all to me.
No, it doesn't.
And for me, the just knowing that this is what I'm going to get for the Pantera show, that's really a bummer.
Yeah, I told you, if I buy tickets, it'll be to Detroit. It'll be for the Friday show, and I'll probably watch Wolfgang Van Halen and Pantera and go home. I saw Metallica one time. It was New Year's Day, I believe, of 2000 or 2001.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Kid Rock and Sevendust.
Yeah,
I was at that show.
It's just okay. Like I can't sit there and listen to Lars Ulrich. I can't do it. And by the way, this guy's walking around. Maybe they did give these guys the full stage because this guy is now basically made at least a half a lap around the whole.
Maybe they're just letting him go because they think he's an usher.
Metallica has no clue who this guy is.
Right this way, please.
Right. Look at this guy trying to rock out. It's like he doesn't really. You don't look like you're rocking, sir.
Yeah.
No offense.
Adolf von Hitler here. Jesus Christ.
Right.
He looks like a bald Adolf Hitler.
Oh my God, that was that. Eey. Yeah, I'm with you, dude. It's not.
I'm really, really disappointed now that I bought the tickets for fucking Detroit.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I should put these up. Somebody will buy them for more than I paid.
It's because of the whole in the round thing. I mean, they were doing stadiums before, but they had a static stage.
Yeah.
And they had those enormous the whole back of the damn stage was a video screen.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool, you know.
Mm-hmm. See, here it is. When I see shit like this, it makes me want to stay home.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Somebody's been listening to you, John. I thought I heard John once say Lars is a great drummer.
That's my buddy Jimmy. He's a complete and total tool. Lars is god awful.
Well, he also says, and he's probably right on this, they must hate each other again to be so far away from one another.
Would you want to sit next to Lars Ulrich all night, banging away on the snare drum relentlessly? That's all that guy does.
If he was throwing six figures into my fucking bank account every night, I'd be like, Lars, great call tonight with those drums. Dude, I saw a video this week, and it was a guy. He replaced his bass drum with a keg.
Oh, and the baseball bat, yeah.
And the baseball bat
Yeah.
playing the fucking Metallica songs. It was
Lux
fantastic.
Eterna, yeah.
It was fantastic. I actually watched. I was like, wow, it really doesn't sound that far different.
Yep.
Than fucking, whatever that album is, Saint Anger. It really didn't sound that different, but
It doesn't at all. It does
just
not sound
crazy.
different.
Well, let's do one more thing here, since we're talking about big bands doing big things. You're a big football guy. I'm sure you watched some of the NFL draft because I know you were watching it at the comedy show. You were keeping up with it anyway.
Trying to.
You saw Motley Crue showed up at the draft to play?
I heard that they did. I did not watch any of it.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Nikki Sixx's taped bass tracks.
Well, see, here somebody posted this way early in the show, and I'm just now getting to it, but I had planned to get to here it is. Potential for discussion. Here we go. It just occurred to me that Nikki Sixx and all probably rushed to the studio, got Bob Rock again, and are playing this NFL thing, all to use as leverage in court. I'm going to say this, Butch. I believe half of that statement.
Okay.
I don't believe the NFL part of it because the NFL books everything a year in advance.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't believe that they... And quite honestly, I don't believe Motley Crue is a big enough name for the NFL to say, hey, let's change everything we're doing for Motley fucking Crue to show up. I don't believe that.
No.
I very much believe that they are rushing into the studio to throw two songs out there to say, see, we got rid of McMars and we were able to record something with the new guy just like that.
Yeah.
New energy, and the guy remembered his parts and blah, 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 blah. And these guys in Motley Crue seem to be such fucking scumbags that I'm not shocked at anything they do. Are you?
No, not at all. I mean, it's dude, I 100% believe Mick, and I think the rest of it is trash. You know, it's. I mean, even the manager comes out. I'm not letting them talk about it, so that Mick's name isn't dragged through the mud with the fans. It's like, no, like it's all bullshit. Nobody believes you.
Yeah,
Mick has always been the only guy with credibility.
Yeah.
You know, like Nikki is just a dick. Mm-hmm. You know, he calls Carmen a piece. I don't know how to pronounce it, but like
it's a piece.
A washed up drummer. Yeah, Carmen a piece is washed up, you fucking idiot. Like, he's a legend. What is wrong with you? You're gonna insult a guy like that. That's the word you come up with is washed up.
Well,
like,
instead of his non-washed up singer Vince Neil.
Oh, dude.
Dr. Hee-Haw.
Dr. Hee-Haw. Yeah, no, I'm fully Team Mick. I don't believe anything coming out of Motley Crue's mouths. It's all bullshit.
Well, would you like to see some of this Motley live from the draft?
Motley, air quotes, live? Sure.
Yeah. The tape recorder was playing live at the draft.
Right.
Well, let's pull it up here. Here's Vince Neil. Look, there's Vince. Here we go. I don't even know where we're starting. We're just starting at the beginning.
Okay.
Here we go. Motley Crue live at the NFL draft. All right.
Oh, wait. Start it over.
Start it
over. Okay. Watch listen to the vocal and then watch when he brings the mic up to his face. Unless I was just seeing things, I think the vocal started and then he brought the mic up.
All right, well, I'll go back even further. So
Go to the wherever you started from at the beginning.
Start at the very, very beginning. Here we go.
All right, right here.
All right, here we go.
Okay, I thought I didn't see it. I was wrong.
You know what? I think that is a track of him singing badly. He's moving the mic all around, and it's just staying the right volume.
It's not conclusive enough. It's it's not like, okay, it starts and then he pulls. For some reason, it flashed quickly. I thought that the track started, then he put the mic up to his mouth, but that didn't. But yeah, sadly, this sounds better than a lot of videos I've seen of him.
Well, it does sound better.
It's not saying it's good.
If they pre-recorded it, it would sound better. I honestly think that they pre-recorded this with this kind of vocal, but had him sing most of the words. That way, he doesn't have to sing. That way, he doesn't have to sing most of the words, but nobody could say it's just the studio track from "Girls, Girls, Girls," which would be blatantly obvious that it's not real.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've done that for years with the backing vocal. You know, Tommy and Nikki, they just pull the straight track. But I mean, it's not. Yeah, dude, you're probably right because we've seen those other videos. Like, I'm sure you've seen the one.
Well, you
where,
see
where
him every
guy,
time he goes out solo. When he goes out solo and he can't afford the backing track guy, then it sounds like ass. Then it's cocaine, wild side.
It's like, I'm sure you've seen the Ham Hit a Dog video, with the words up on the screen. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
And every time he gets to it's Kickstart My Heart, it's a wah! It's like the karate guy on the screen. That is one of the best videos ever. All right, let's
watch a little more of this guy.
Was there any male vocal in that?
No.
Oh, hello.
What are we doing here? All right, the girl's hot.
Yeah, it's like.
You'd think that the NFL would not want him singing the word rape with all the rapists in their league. Wouldn't you think that?
Roger Goodell's backstage going, man, I did not think this one through.
Yeah, he's letting him go with no escape, murder, rape. It's like, what do you think goes on in your league every offseason, dude? There is no escape from the murder or the rape.
Yeah,
the NFL's on the wild side. He beat his wife with a knife.
Yes.
Slit her throat on the wild side.
I keep watching this and I'm thinking to the lawsuit and them saying that Nikki Sixx's bass is on a track, and I'm going, dude, that guy plays nothing but root notes. What needs to be taped? Yeah,
I could go doom 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 doom.
What needs to be taped?
I made this point on the CMS one night, and I don't know if it's real or not, but the only reason that you would have Nikki do his tracks is Nikki, not seemingly here, but in a lot of shows over the years, he used to kind of roll around on the stage and like fall down and dive down steps and shit.
Yeah.
As part of his act, was acting all crazy. And maybe they just recorded the tracks because when he's doing all that shit, he's not playing. He's rolling around on the floor. They don't want the songs to sound shitty.
Well, that's definitely probably what it is. I mean, I play bass, and I can tell you that if you're rolling around, it's next to impossible to keep the guitar level so that the note is ringing.
Yeah.
And to play bass and you're rolling around, like it's pretty much impossible.
Yeah. Let's go. I'm just scrolling at random to a new spot.
That's fine.
I don't know where we're going to, but let's see. It's obviously Nikki playing. You know, at least they want us to believe that.
Obviously, yeah.
Playing his
'Cause he has a
NFL
guitar
bass.
on.
He has his NFL bass ready to rock.
Ugh.
All right, here we go. Oh. Whatever. I'm gonna take back. I think they might be playing live here for the lawsuit.
Dude, I would not put that past them.
To just
I would not put it past them.
because obviously John 5 can play the parts fucking blindfolded.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this is definitely the money gig for this guy. This is John 5 cashing out.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's obviously what this is. So it's these other guys. I'm thinking they might actually be playing live so that they can say, well, here's an affidavit from one of the biggest companies in the world, the NFL, saying that we played live for 40 minutes on their big concert.
Do you really think that's going to get him off the hook, though? I mean, if you say, okay, well, here's one concert, whereas, let's say, Mick Mars has umpteen witnesses
But
that
what
can say,
proof
okay,
does Mick have? That's the real question. I mean, it seems like all of the guys that were in the Motley camp have all kind of shit on him and just said, well, here's signed affidavits from 10 sound guys that he doesn't know Home Sweet Home anymore. You know, they all said he doesn't remember the songs, that he forgets what songs he's playing and all kinds of shit.
can we address that for a second?
Sure.
Why am I supposed to take the word of, let's be fucking on a fucking lackey? Some dude, and how many times have we heard from these like professional roadies lately that, you know, they have to go back to regular jobs. There's not enough tours for them. It's impossible to get another gig. I'm Facebook friends with Eddie Van Halen's guitar tech. He's Facebook friends with a lot of people, so I'm not trying to say, oh, I'm Facebook friends with this guy, but his name is Tom Weber.
Okay.
And he friend requests people like a normal dude, and he posts videos of setting up guitars or anything, but he was with Eddie for years. And this guy is always posting about how, you know, he can't, like, he just had another tour bail on him. Like he was all set to go out on the road, and then the tour canceled.
Right.
So he lost another gig. So I'm supposed to believe that these guys working for Motley, where their whole livelihood is this gigantic fucking tour, that they're going to come out and go, oh, yeah, Mick's right, dude. Because they're going to go, fuck you, you're fired.
Well,
You know, they're telling them, like, get on board or you're fired. I mean,
yeah. And even on the bigger picture, I'm going to believe the guy that never really was in any trouble, or I'm going to believe the guy that killed someone, the fucking guy that beat his wife and did jail time, and the junkie.
yeah.
Those are my options. I can believe those three, and not the one that really never was a TMZ bound guy.
Yep.
Or I can believe these roadies that God knows if they're not doing this, they're fucking, you know, they're taping down mats for the Black Crows somewhere.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like, what do you think? What do you think you're going to believe here?
Yeah, they're not going to speak out against their employer.
No, of course not.
So to say, oh, I've got proof, like, okay.
Especially when it's one of the biggest jobs in their field at this time. Mm-hmm. You know, being on as much as I hate it, being a roadie for Motley Crue is probably one of the top 5, you know, roadie jobs in the world right now.
Well, it's a stadium gig, and the amount of work, you're not just on like a regular stage. I mean, the work to set a stage setup like this, to set that all up and make it go is a bitch, much less having to do it up against another stage crew, you know, the size of Def Leppard. I mean, you've got like huge production going on. That's paying for these guys. It's a cash cow. So yeah, they're not going to, you know. Right. Jimmy, yeah. I don't know about since 1985, but I mean, Chris might agree, but
I liked Theater of Pain personally.
yeah, well, you and I always have the argument about
Yeah.
girls
Girls,
versus
Girls,
Theater of
Girls
Pain.
is just garbage.
And it's the one I like. So
Ugh. It's when they even acknowledged that they couldn't fucking record. They acknowledged that they just parted that piece of shit together.
right.
And Nona, I'm out of my head without you. Ooh.
Couldn't go to your grandmother's funeral, but you could sit there and write 45 paltry, lackluster seconds of music about her.
And then wasn't Don't Go Away Mad, Just Go Away on that? Or was that?
No, that was
Feel Good?
It was Feel Good.
Feel Good? What was the ballad? No, what was? Oh, no, they had the worst version of that on Girls, Girls, Girls. They had, You're All I Need.
Yeah,
When
that was.
I need you to die or whatever. Ugh,
Yeah.
terrible song.
What was and the great lyric? Like, I thought you were napping.
But I wished you were dead.
Yeah.
awful.
He kills her and he's like, I thought you were napping. Like, oh no. Oh, that is so terrible.
I just wish somebody wouldn't have found Nikki for another 10 minutes.
Right.
Fucker would have just died.
Yeah. No, and back to your original point, like, yeah, they might be playing live. But I gotta say, I love John Five. He's a phenomenal player.
Great.
But he is really boring to watch. I've never
Well,
seen
yeah,
him
that's
live
the
before.
whole thing. Is he was boring to watch in Manson and in Zombie. He's amazing. He's about as good. He's probably as good as anybody out there. If he was just doing instrumental albums, you would definitely consider him in the same world as Vi and Eric Johnson and Satch and those guys. I mean, he's that quality of a player. But man, oh man, he picks some bands to just go through the motions with.
Yeah.
Has he ever been in a band that challenged him as a guitar player?
Well, okay, so you might laugh at this, but the guy has had a run of amazing guitar players. He did a lot with David Lee Roth.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And I don't know how much live stuff he did with him to have to recreate the Vi parts and stuff like that. But I mean, he wrote some stuff with him, and he did that DLR band thing, and I think
Was that
98.
She's My Machine? Was that
I
DLR?
Whatever it is. It's the like the red, white, and blue flag cover, like. It's just called DLR band.
Yeah.
And then all that new stuff that Dave's been putting out, like that acoustic-y, folksy shit.
Yeah, boy, that's
like,
selling me.
Dude, I'm not even gonna lie. I do really like that Somewhere Over the Rainbow Bar and Grill song, and the rest of them I'm like, ugh.
Yeah,
But
junk.
so
Let's
anyway,
hear, let's hear some more Motley.
all right.
Here we go. Yeah. Oh, good.
Oh, so they put Tommy in the middle of the fountain.
That's great. I'm going to say this for Vince. This is more words than I've heard in the past 3 shows that I've seen him perform.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And he actually lost a lot of the weight.
Well, he cheated on that. Fucking, you make $50 million, you can get some of it sliced right out.
Well, hey, he did it. So at least,
and he was doing something with some kind of machine. I got to get one of these things. You run it for like 20 minutes on your stomach, and it's the equivalent of like 10 million sit-ups or something.
Does that shit actually work?
There's your proof.
Wow. Okay.
There's Vince Neil. He lost. I mean, it looks like he lost seriously about 75 pounds.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
He lost a lot of weight, and good for him. Hey, I don't have a whole lot bad to say about him. He's been nice to me when I've met him. I know stories about him being a douche, from killing Razzle to not being willing to sign shit for the Skylar Neal fucking foundation for auctions, for auctions for his daughter's charity.
It's his own charity. How are you not signing shit for your own charity?
He couldn't be bothered.
Oh God.
He literally handed it to a tour manager who went on the bus, signed it himself, and brought it back out. Allegedly. Allegedly, not that I saw it happen.
So diplomatic.
Yeah. Piece of shit. All right, here we go.
What
Here's
else
John
we got
5.
here?
Let's see what he's doing. Nothing.
Oh. Almost didn't get that microphone.
Right.
Now that one, I think she was lip syncing.
Well, not only that, you notice how they're not really showing Vince when he's singing.
Well, dude, I think you're right about the live thing because he's not moving almost at all.
So that you can get the words out.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, the last time I saw them was when they played with Kiss.
Yeah.
And it was the show. He broke his foot like the
Right.
second song of the night, and he was basically standing in one spot after that. And I thought he sounded good, and I was laughing because I'm like, he sounds good because he's not moving.
Yeah,
he just all he has to do is sing. He can't like jump around and do all of that crap. So now he actually sounds like he's worth a damn.
Maybe they could just put him in the Phil Collins chair.
The Axl Rose throne with
Yeah,
AC/DC.
the Axl Rose throne or the Dave Grohl throne. Maybe that's around somewhere. Just have him sit there and sing these songs. I'll be honest. I'm always, man. I mean, we've done this a million times on the CMS. I'm always against the chair shows. I wouldn't be against the chair show with him. I would
makes
be
him
okay
sound
with
better.
him. With him, he stinks when he runs around the stage.
Yeah.
He's terrible. He's he sounds so bad. If he was in a chair and he sounded like sounds just on this show, I'd be okay with it. But I still wouldn't be okay with it to $1,000 a ticket or whatever this fucking show costs.
It's exorbitant. It's exorbitant. I'm sorry, like Poison is the best band on that bill, by far, at least performance wise.
Yeah,
and
now they're retired again, so that Brett could do the party gras. It was funny. We had Pete Evick on here, me and Eric, right at some point, and I didn't mean to. Eric brought it up about how Brett had been such a dick to me. and Pete was like, "Oh, he must have been having a bad day." I was like, "Yeah, those 3 or 4 times."
Right. Yeah, I just remember seeing his contract for the after party.
Yeah.
I forget if it was one of his solo shows or if it was a Poison gig, but it was at some club in Akron, and a coworker of mine, her uncle ran the bar where it was happening.
Yeah.
And he was getting $10,000 to show up for 60 minutes.
Sure.
And the amount of like caveats in this goddamn contract to where he could get out of it and still get paid.
Yeah.
It was like pages and pages. If
He
if
stubs
there's
his toe walking into the building, he can leave.
yeah, dude, seriously, like he could literally walk in and walk out within like 30 seconds and still get 10 grand and not have to do anything. The guy was such a prick about it.
Yeah, he's a dick. Allegedly.
Well,
He's been a dick to me. Not allegedly. He's been a dick to me.
Yeah. Well, and I've told the story on the CMS before about that stupid time when we went backstage when they were playing with Enough's Enough.
Yeah.
And they had the Ricky Rocket fan club and the CC DeVille fan club and the Bret Michaels fan club. And
right.
It was just the douchiest thing you could ever imagine.
Was that the night that I got into it with Big John, right? That I was yelling at Big John because Vince or Brett wasn't going to sign all the MMS people's stuff. He met some chick that he was going to bang, and he wanted to leave. And Big John came over and said, "Oh, sorry guys, Brett's leaving. He's tired or something." And I was all drunk, and I started screaming at him, "You motherfucker! You better sign these fucking." I started screaming at Brett, and Big John was trying to get me to be quiet. I was like, "You may fucking beat my ass, but you'll remember it, motherfucker." I went all fucking angry Aiken on his ass.
Angry Aiken, yep.
I really did. And then Brett was like, "Fine, I'll fucking sign this shit." And he sat back down and he wouldn't take one picture, and he didn't even look up at anybody. he just got their shit handed to him, signed it, and pushed it along. Total doucher.
These guys with these egos like that, like, is it really that goddamn difficult? Like, you don't have a real job, asshole. Like, what is it to you if you have to just pull out a Sharpie for an hour? Like, who gives a shit?
Is that girl that's going to suck your dick not going to wait 15 more minutes? She's been waiting all night. She'll wait 15 more. Sign the fucking autographs that made you the guy that gets the 9 ready to suck your dick.
Yeah.
Just stop it, you asshole.
Right. I will never understand that, dude.
No.
I can't wrap my head around that sort of belief system. Can't do it.
He is what he is, but here's a quick question and we'll get out of here.
Okay.
Jim would go see Ozzy in a chair.
Not for any amount of money.
I don't know that I would go see Ozzy again healthy.
Yeah. I mean, Jimmy, a chair will not help him. His voice is so beyond shot anymore. I mean, there's tuning down, and then there's, basically having to use a 7-string and tune that down for him to hit the notes, like
he's got a 7-string. The strings are falling off.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Pumped.
Yep. Yeah. He's just, I really want to know how bad his marriage is behind the scenes and how much money he has to keep funneling to Sharon, because that guy has an ego. And I can't imagine that he wants to go out there like that.
No, it's pretty.
It's embarrassing.
Pretty sad. Although, from what I've heard is that Whit Crane is singing behind the curtain for the last few Ozzy tours. So,
no,
that's what I've heard. Now, Bandian told me that.
How
that for the last few tours, Whitfield Crane was at the gig singing behind the curtain.
Like the leads?
Yeah. And if he sounded close and they triple track it as they do with all Ozzy vocals, you could get away with that.
Man, that just blows my mind.
Yeah, well.
Now I'm going to be listening to these damn videos being like, is that the guy from Ugly Kid Joe? Man.
Maybe that's why I couldn't get Whit on for an interview. I had to have Klaus Eichstad instead. Because they didn't want me to ask that question. They probably heard me sing around here. Didn't want me to ask Whit if he sang as Ozzy.
So, Whitfield, you could feel free to say no to this, but I've heard that all of a sudden he drops out of the interview, like, here's
Whit,
the word
no
Ozzy.
Pressure, no pressure, but would you do the chorus to No More Tears for me? And go.
He gives it away by singing it like, no more tears.
See, look, somebody else checking in here. I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard this rumor as well. Robert Mason was doing it before Whitfield. I've heard that too.
But so these guys are like, they got to be damn good because they're sounding like shitty Ozzy. It's not like good Ozzy, like, oh, Ozzy still got it. Like, no, you're just like, oh, God, what is this?
Yeah, but they don't have to. Again, maybe that's why they didn't sound exactly like Ozzy. Because they weren't.
Well, maybe it's Ozzy to a track, and then they sing along with that track while Ozzy's lip-syncing to himself.
It could be, or it could be Ozzy as the third track. They triple-track his voice. They've always triple-tracked his voice. So maybe it's Ozzy, Robert Mason, and a backing track.
He's got a whole choir back there just doing this. It's like the 3 tenors backstage.
That's right.
With Ozzy on stage croaking like a frog.
With him and jumping like one too, because he used to do that. Remember that bullshit where he'd jump around like a stupid frog? Oh.
Yep.
His shows sucked. He has been bad for a lot of years. I'm sorry. I love Ozzy. I loved him in Black Sabbath. Let me put it that way. I loved him in Black Sabbath. Never was the biggest, hugest fan of solo. I loved No More Tears. I thought that was a great album. But the rest of the albums were just kind of okay for me. They're some are better, some are worse. But yeah, seeing them a bunch of times, and I saw some really lousy shows. That fucking tour with Korn and Deftones. Oh,
what record was that for?
96 Osmosis.
Yeah, okay.
The best part of that was me and Neely, I think, were actually sitting on the side of the stage for that show, on Zach's side of the stage, and some dude like got down somehow, and there was like a rope ladder to climb up onto the stage. on the side. This guy started climbing up the rope ladder, and he was just standing there. Zach came over and just put a boot right in his fucking face and knocked him off the fucking rope ladder. Boom! It was one of the funniest things. We were just watching this guy climb up. Zach came right over there, pop right in the fucking head. This guy, whoa!
Oh yeah,
it was the best part of the show, quite honestly, because Deftones were terrible, and Korn was. Yeah, to me, they were always hit or miss live, and this was definitely one of their miss ones where they didn't have much sound, and they didn't have a whole lot of bass in the sound. And it was like, all right,
Korn. You have to have the low end to get the Korn.
Yeah, well, they had no end. It was
the only time I ever saw Ozzy was one of the Ozfests. It was Pantera. And I want to say Godsmack. Like it was when they had that huge dirt fight where it was like just basically a dome of flying dirt.
Yeah, Disturbed was at that. And BLS. That was the one with where me and Zach Wilde walked out into the crowd and just watched Slipknot play.
Okay. Yeah,
Same
that
thing.
was
the same show. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Joe Holmes on guitar, so I wasn't too thrilled. I was like, damn it, I don't get Zach Wilde. Like. No,
Zach was on that tour. Oh no, he was doing BLS.
He was doing Black Label. Yeah, he wasn't.
Yeah,
he wasn't doing Ozzy at the time.
Only. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times. But all right, let's get the fuck out of here. We gave him 15 whopping minutes more than we were supposed to. Let's real quick thank our new friend Drew Elliott from Sevenstones for coming on. That was a lot of fun. He's seems like a good dude. New album. Let me pull it up again. It's called Hurt Turns into Hate. It is out now. Go get it. You can listen to it on Spotify only if you buy something. So buy something at sevenstonesofficial.com. It's definitely worth it. It's a good record. You will dig it. Eric will be back next week. He'll have, I'm sure, some stories from the Monsters of Rock cruise. He texted me earlier today, said he was on his way out to go see Tesla play. So. And apparently they've had big storms on they canceled one of the nights, like the outside nights, because they had like a huge storm, and I guess the sea's been choppy and everything else. So sounds like the fucking Poseidon Adventure to me.
Screw that. I will not go on a cruise, man. It's a point of contention with me and Steph. Me and the wife argue about that. I'm like, I'm not getting on one of those goddamn boats. I've seen Titanic.
Dude, I was watching Piercy himself posted some video up, and it was just solid black clouds over the water with lightning hitting the water. And I was like, fuck that. And there ain't nowhere you can go.
Yep.
That's where you are.
Yep. That's why I won't do it. That's why I won't do it. Like, nope, no way. No fucking way.
Steven's posting said something like, little bit windy tonight or something.
Nice.
Meanwhile, it's lightning hitting the fucking ocean.
Right.
Well, look at it. You get a compliment. I must have sucked tonight, but you kicked ass, so good for you. There you go.
Thanks a lot, Buzzing Friends. Appreciate it, man.
There you go. Well, we will be back next week. John, this has been fun, as it always is. Tell people about Talking Into Infinity real quick so that they could tune into that, or the Nerve Herder, or all that shit.
Yep. Well, obviously, there's the Nerf Herder Council. It's my nerd podcast. We do that every other Wednesday. It'll be next week, and that's at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our Facebook and YouTube pages. It's all kinds of nerdiness, usually Star Wars related. And my show on the CMS network is Talking Into Infinity. It's a Dream Theater-centric podcast. We don't do strictly Dream Theater. This week we'll be broadcasting this Thursday. We do every other Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's at talkingintoinfinity.com, thecmsnetwork.com, and our Facebook and YouTube pages. And this week is a Dream Theater show. We are going to be doing a deep dive into what is actually my least favorite Dream Theater album, that being the self-titled record. Okay. So we're doing that this week, so go check that out. We are up to close to 60 episodes. You can find all those on our YouTube channel, or just go to Anchor or any of those fine podcast sites if you want to hear the audio version. So, yeah, check it out. It's Talking Into Infinity, man. I think you guys will dig it.
All right. You guys know where I'll be. I'll be here. I'll be there. I'll be every fucking where. I'll be on CMS on Saturday. You all know that. And I'll be back next Monday with this. And, God, that's it for this week. I don't have to do a Toomey session, so...
It's
That's
like a
it.
vacation.
Wow, this is like it's like a week off. I only have 2 shows this week, so all good. But thanks as always for watching, listening, subscribing, do all that bullshit. And for Chris Akin Presents, I have been Chris Akin,
I have been Jon Drake.
and we both are no longer here. See ya.